Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to slow it down for a few seconds. This is a newer song. We got quite a few new songs tonight, by the way.
What's up, everybody? WWE Hall of Famer, The Godfather here, and you're watching Grown Man Record Night. So let's everybody get aggressive and get on the Ho train.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Grown Man Record Night. It's a little bit of a different show tonight. A little bit of a different situation. I got all this room to myself. Steve and Jay are they're not here. No Steve, no Jay. But Jerry is working on tuning in a remote host that's been trying to get piped in for a little bit now. I've been promised this is doable. This is a doable situation, Jerry. Okay. Starting a week-long vacation. Let's start this shit off on the right note, okay? All right. Let's everybody take it easy. Let's take it easy. But we do have I had a joke sent in from who is it? I can't even read this handwriting here. Oh, this is terrible. Jesus Christ, this is terrible. I'm assuming I can't read the handwriting. I'm assuming this is a toddler. What What does a clock do when it's hungry? What does a clock do when it's hungry? It goes back 4 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you, welcome to Grown Man Record Night. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. Man, this is one of my favorite shows of the year, man. One of my favorite shows. You know why? Some of you old school Record Night cats know exactly why. And that's because Memorial Day weekend is my official start. Turn this mic up a little bit. Memorial Day weekend is my official start to the summer. And what do I do every Memorial Day weekend? Who knows? Who knows what it is I do every Memorial Day weekend? And it's going to be a bigger time this year. What I do is I always watch Summer Rental. And unfortunately, this disc, which I've used for years and years and years, kind of shit the bed. Last year, me and Jay and the fiance got together, go watch the movie. We put some stuff on the grill, got all messed up, extra days off, whatnot. And the DVDs like skipping around everywhere, and it was terrible. But last year, our good buddy John, not John 9, old school YouTube, BC guy, Tambroni we call him, gathered me a digital copy of the movie. And I figured what better way, because it's on the computer, and during the lightning strike, the the Chromecast got fried, and I don't have a new one. So I was like, I can't even really watch it in the living room, so what the hell are we going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. Sunday night over on Twitch. If you guys are not following us on Twitch, this will be a great opportunity to do so. Because over on Twitch, we're going to watch Summer Rental together. We're going to get over there and drink some beers, maybe eat a couple of hot dogs. Sunday night. I'm aiming for Sunday night. Oh, no bling. Yeah, you know, I do have my summer shirt on. Actually, some of you guys may recognize this shirt. This was loaned to me by another content creator that shares this studio sometimes. I don't know if you guys know the captain, Captain Car Wash. This is Captain Car Wash's shirt. Double feature, Summer Rental, One Crazy Summer, that's a possibility. Normally, that's exactly what we do. On DVD, that's exactly what we do. But this is Captain Car Wash's shirt. I borrow it every now and then, but anyway. But as you can see, it's a pretty damn empty studio tonight. But we're working on that, right, Jerry? Right? Figure it out. I don't care. Figure it out. Figure it out. So anyway, we're going to watch twitch.tv/Grown Man Record Night. Come over there on Sunday night. We're going to be checking out this movie and hanging out, vibing. Made some major moves this week, folks. I know I mentioned it a couple of yeah. By the way, I worked at Arby's for 9 years, and this is my original Arby's visor. I worked there for 9 years and found the visor tonight. I'm like, bet I'm wearing this shit. I love Arby's. Put me through college, baby. Got me to where I am today. Woo! But yeah, I made some big moves this week. I don't know if you guys watched a couple of shows ago. I mentioned this shot here. This shot here is my dad's GoPro, and these shots look pretty good. They're a little wide. They kind of warp the frame a little bit, but it's a good looking picture. And I was like, you know what? I can get an old GoPro and make this work for next to nothing, and that's a good way to go. And I bought a GoPro, an older one, on eBay, and as soon as I bought it, eBay was like, we've deleted this user's account. Some sketchy shit's going on. Okay, and they're like, if you don't receive your merchandise, of course I'm not going to receive my fucking merchandise. If you don't receive your merchandise, click this link, file a claim, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's what I had to do, because it never came. Some Chinese scam. God bless the Chinese, but fuck this guy. So anyway, I had to file a claim, but I immediately got got my money back, which was great. And then I was looking for another GoPro, and it's kind of hard to find the one I was looking for. And I was like, you know what? I think the folks of the Grown Man Record Night community deserve a couple, just a notch or two, a couple of notches above a GoPro. And folks have been nice enough to subscribe using your Amazon Prime account, or just out of the kindness of your heart, people gifting subs and stuff. So I decided to put my money where my mouth is, and I made a little camera purchase this week. So for next week's show, should be coming in on Wednesday. So maybe for the midweek buffoonery stream, I'm gonna try to be streaming all next week. We're gonna be streaming like days and days next week. When the camera comes in, we're gonna get it set up. And we got some new shit coming. I'm proud of that, and it's thanks to some of you folks that help support the channel here. And we're upping the game, upping that game, baby. So next week we got big stuff moving and grooving. Which is never mind. Also, my mom got me a bell, so when we do get new subs and stuff. Huh? Got a bell. You got a bell? Of course you don't. Of course you fucking don't. Yeah, we can stream some Cold War. Get on with Eric. We'll stream some Cold War. Do some league play. Ooh, come on now. I have to say though, I am a little bit lonely, and I would really love Jerry. If we could, please. Sat 3. Tune in Sat 3. No, Sat 3. Jerry. Sat. There it is. Sat 3. Ladies and gentlemen, our co-host for the evening, none other than Mr. Metal Theologian.
Oh, shit, I thought it was the boss man.
No, wait.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Do you hear me okay? And there's no echo or any bullshit like that?
I don't hear any echo. Does he sound okay? Oh,
right, cool.
Chromie D's in here? Come on. Sorry, I had to turn the music down so I could hear you a little better. But okay. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us here on this very weird episode of Grown Man Record Night. It's the first time we've done this. We've piped in Steve before. We've piped in Jay before. That was...
Learn from their mistakes.
That was something. But that was from right down the road and whatnot. So now we've got MT in from... We're a state or two over.
Yeah, it's Charleston, South Carolina. So it's the next state, but it's kind of the far part, you know?
Yeah, the low country, as we say.
It's the low country.
So, but yeah, this is cool. I'm glad we were able to do this and tune this in because, yeah, and I even gave you space to put you right where where Steve would sit or Jay would sit. So it's like right.
I'm really impressed. I can't look at it, or the delay will fuck me up. So.
Yeah. That's
I see it in the corner of my eye, so I like know what you're doing and shit. But otherwise,
yeah. But that's pretty awesome, man. So somebody piped Jay. You know, actually, if you guys want to see, I'll show you. Jay's out in. Okay, Steve's visiting his mom out in Georgia, and Jay is out visiting. He's on vacation out in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, the Sunshine State. And so Jay actually sent us a little video in. Let's see if I can pull this in here. I don't know what this looks like. Full disclosure, I've not really watched this, but let's watch this together. I'm looking for buttons.
Dude, I would love if you could like somehow fake a video of Jay trying to smoke a Viceroy, but it's Denver, so like he's already like having trouble catching his breath and shit.
Jay smoking some Viceroys. That's awesome. Where did I put this video?
Fucking Viceroy or something.
I can't find it. So hold on. I'll just do this. I'm gonna pause this music. I'm gonna come in here and do this. I downloaded this and brought it in, but I know where it is. Hold on.
Dude, that episode when Jay was smoking those Viceroys, I was making fun of him. That was a long time ago.
All right. Check this out. Here's Jay in somewhere.
I don't know. Well, I'm shooting live right now. So, I'm in Colorado on vacation, and we made a detour down to Red Rocks. You can see Denver off in the distance and everything. And who's setting up right now? The Biscuits? Disco Biscuits are setting up. It's one of the first shows back, I guess. But yeah, we're checking it out, and it's pretty cool. It's really like deep. It's like we're sitting on top, and it's about 120 feet or so down to the bottom. So, pretty iconic music venue. So, just wanted to give you a glimpse. Hope you're having a good Friday.
All right, well there you go, folks. Jay out enjoying the wonders that this world gives us in the form of Red Rocks. That'd be a cool place. Have you ever been to Red Rocks out there, Aaron?
I don't think I have.
I mean, I've seen some.
I've been to Colorado. I drove through enough to be impressed by it, but I know we didn't go through Denver. We went like through Colorado Springs. It was probably 80 or something like that. But it's been a long time now. It's been close to. Well, it's been a long time.
I've never been that far west, but I do remember seeing. And don't laugh, but I remember seeing. I used to be a big Incubus fan, and some of the early Incubus stuff was really good. Like the Science and Fungus Among Us stuff was. The band that I played in, a lot of the guys in there were big Incubus guys, and it was a little later than that when they played Red Rocks. It was a lot of the like heavy radio stuff, but I thought that show was amazing, and just the backdrop and just the whole vibe about it, and the music and the performance and everything was fantastic. I don't know if anybody's seen the Incubus Red Rock show, but I was blown away. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I can totally believe that. You know, one thing, you know, whether it's Colorado or Utah or whatever, being out there in the middle of the night in the desert is just amazing. Like, that's really something that you don't experience as an American.
You know, I've had this itch in my craw for a long time to go to the desert. I've never been in the desert climate ever, and being, you know, a big stoner rock guy and whatnot, it's in the last 10 years, it's become kind of a Mecca type thing, and it almost kind of feels like a Walden type scenario to like go to the desert and like, you know, live remotely and minimally and all this shit. But, you know, could I really do that? Probably not. But like in my head, it seems really fucking romantic and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not really living out in the middle of nowhere myself.
Yeah, like
this is probably the least populated place I've ever lived before. So.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the country, so I've always loved that idea, but as I become more accustomed to like, oh, you know what, it's 1 a.m, you know what I could use right now is a fucking double cheeseburger, man, and I'm gonna hit it like an 1/8 of a mile right up the road and get me a double cheeseburger. losing that type of scenario would be a little disheartening at times, but yeah.
I remember I was on when I was living in San Francisco. I had to run across the street like for a pack of cigarettes, and we were like moving into this place, right? And VH1 was on, and they were like, "Okay, stay tuned. After this commercial, we're gonna have Stevie Wonder playing this awesome solo. Like, get your VCRs ready and shit." I was like, "Oh fuck!" And I I better hurry. And I had time to go get cigarettes and come back like during a couple commercials. Like when I think about living like, well, where I live now, everything seems far away. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. I just had this conversation. I was talking about switching from like cable to like over the air stuff. And one of the things that, it was kind of sad at first because I lost the ability with the DVR to like, pause television, go take a shit, go make some food, go run up the road, what if you needed to do. And I was like, man, I'm really losing that. Maybe I'll buy a TiVo or something and I can do it over the air and whatever. But then I remembered there's something kind of nostalgic and just like neat about like when you're a kid and you're like, commercial, you gotta run to the bathroom real quick or run back or like go make a sandwich and like, oh, it's back on, fuck, you need to go run back in. I liked that. When I kind of experienced that again for the first time in 15 years, I was like, I kind of miss that. And maybe that's corny, but I just kind of missed it.
There's a half-hour show. Like maybe the first commercial break was longer than the second commercial break, so you had to like time your shit based on which commercial break it was. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that's crazy. So we're gonna tonight. We're gonna Aaron's gonna hang out with us for a little bit. We're gonna talk records. We're gonna get into some shit. And then sorry, I'm scrolling through stuff. It's weird being in here by myself. I'm used to like bounce it off somebody, and then I can come over here and do and it buys me a couple of seconds to do things. Well, let's get into a little bit of there's not a lot of news and a lot of good stuff that came out this week, honestly, but I did want to mention a couple of things. There was this is a pretty cool story, man. Did you hear about a band called the Lindas? So
You named me.
They were screaming and crunching power chords in the middle of the stacks at the Los Angeles Public Library with their song Racist, Sexist Boy, written and performed by 4 tween and teen punks calling out anti-Asian Americans' bias and misogyny. I mean, of course, it went viral, and then in the same week, they got signed by Epitaph Records. But these girls range from age 10 to 16, and they're in there like just spewing out some punk rock stuff in the middle of the LA library. And I have to say, I mean, it's the best song I ever heard. No, but like the spirit behind it, holy shit balls. That's
What that makes me think of, man, and this may be going like kind of dark for this early in the show, but there's a documentary. It's not that dark. There's a documentary about Colin Hay in like Amazon or something like that. Have you seen that by chance?
No, but
I thought it was awesome, but I mean, basically, it's fucking Colin Hay, right? Like it meant it worked. Like he started here, and then like bam, and like the last like 30 years, he's kind of been a working musician, sort of putting out a record of his own songs and a guitar from time to time. But that's about it. And he's okay for money, but it's like he's kind of struggling, and he's perpetually in the shadow of his own former like glory that he like because he peaked so early, So I see these 10-year-old kids. I think at least Colin Hay was, 22, 23?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
so maybe that's a little bit like, oh shit, these kids are screwed, but it's still an awesome thing.
Yeah, you remember several years ago, there were these like a trio of these like black kids that played heavy metal like in the middle of New York City, and they thrashed, man. They were awesome, and they blew up virally, and everybody was like, man, this is the next thing. I mean, but where are they at now? I haven't heard anything about them now. But it was like the hot shit story for a couple of weeks,
Dude, I missed that too, man. I'll have to like look me up later or something.
Yeah, and they were good. When I heard it, I was like, holy shit balls. Because they were young, 12-year-old black kids in like New York City. And they just
That's awesome.
Thrashed. You know, so I was,
That's awesome.
you know, obviously I was, you know, pulling for them, but where are they at now? Maybe they're recording stuff. I will say, back to the Colin Hay thing, man. I'm a big Colin Hay acoustic fan. I love the stuff he does acoustically.
Really?
Oh my God. In fact,
I'll be honest, I've never heard any of it except what was in the film.
I actually learned I learned how to play Who Can It Be Now, the acoustic version. Because I saw that on some YouTube video and I was like, oh my God, it was blowing my absolute mind. It was such a pretty song, man. I mean, and I love that song anyway. I've always said those lyrics pretty much describe my life to a T, especially when Cameraman was living here. I mean, the lyrics are exactly what was going on. I'm happy here with my childhood friend. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, not answering the door and shit like that. I'm like, that's what we did. We just got all fucked up and didn't answer the door. And I was living with my childhood friend and leave me alone. And yep. And 9 months later, here comes record night. Like some sort of butt baby.
There you go. And here we are today.
Some sort of internet butt baby.
That's right. Like the kind of internet butt baby that blows up.
Yeah, a breached butt baby. Triple B.
And this isn't going anywhere good. So maybe we should talk about some.
Yeah. See, this is what we do, man. But no, I would want to get your opinion on this, man. Speaking of stuff that, this is something that actually came out today. It's a live can record. Live in Stuttgart, 1975. Mute. This is on the Mute label. First in a series of Can live concerts available for the first time on vinyl, CD, and digital formats. Originally recorded on tape, carefully restored, got the entirety of the show. And I kind of checked this out earlier today, and I was pretty blown away by this. And like I am a lot of Can live stuff, I've not heard a lot of shitball Can live stuff, honestly. And actually, I bought one of these it was a Can bootleg for Steve, and that was really good. But
I haven't heard of those, actually. No, I lied. I do have one of those sitting over there, but I haven't played it in a long time.
This is one of those, you know, I love Can. Actually, I turned Steve on to Can. Way, but before we did the show at all.
Did I ever tell you how I turned on Can?
No.
I'll tell you because it's a good story, but finish your story first.
Well, I was just saying, I turned Steve onto it, but Steve is the guy that he just like King Gizzard. I don't own any King Gizzard records because Steve owns like fucking 30. So why do I want to buy them? Same with like Porcupine Tree and Steven Wilson. I love that shit, but Steve's got them all. I'm not going to buy them. He comes over here every Friday. I want to listen to him. I say, hey, Steve, bring that one. But
I don't know, man. I've gone through a phase where I was listening to Can more than once a week.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to, you know, and I love them that much, which is, it's really stupid that I don't own any on vinyl, but, and I love Can, I love Noi, but it's a really quick drop off for me in terms of knowledge of krautrock stuff. And where do you go from there? You got Can, you got Noi. I mean, I've heard of some other stuff casually, but where do you go?
Okay, it depends on what you like is the short answer. But it's funny you should bring that up because I pulled this thing out just for Eric Bauer because we were talking about it before. And this is not at all a bad place to go. So people talk about like krautrock like it's this one thing. And we all know it's stupid. Because, you know, of course, Germany's a big country. Like, there isn't going to be one thing that's just krautrock, right? That covers all of it. But I think people still tend to think that way a little bit. And so a lot of the stuff that people associate with it is like that Berlin shit, you know? Although now I'm forgetting where people were from. Like the Asherah Temple stuff, though, was like jammier than that. Yeah. And a lot of the bands are sort of like that. Now, Can was jammy that way, too. They're from a different part of Germany, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're from Cologne. What am I saying? But they were jammy in a completely different way than Asherah Temple was because they weren't as focused on like sort of the space and the cosmic thing. They were more sort of an organic, like kind of, you know, that kind of a jammy style. So depending on which of those you kind of prefer, you can branch out into different directions, right? So if you like more the Asherah temple and the more sort of cosmic shit, then something like Guru Guru is going to be great. Like you're probably going to dig some of that early Popol Vuh. You know, as far as the more rock and stuff, I mean, I don't think there's anyone else who really sounds like Can, but there are a lot of bands that are sort of rocking and kind of jammy and more that were sort of that sort of way. Like one that Eric's been talking about too is German Oak. They're a little more dark that way. Although if I'm going in that direction, I tend to go towards things that are a little more song oriented. So
yeah, I mean, it is weird because it's probably like painting classic American rock in one big swath, and it's, you know, Led Zeppelin and Leonard Skinner are not necessarily the same fucking animal, obviously. But like, you know, I'm seeing like, you know, Winebender saying like, I'm on Dual, Brain Ticket, and those are ones that I know. But when I'm like, I need some more Kraut rock, I kind of draw a blank when I'm like, okay, well, let's add to my catalog. And I do the same thing with this when I go to like, you know, classic heavy metal, and thrash, and speed metal and stuff like that, because I know the standards. And when I like go to like I watch like your videos or Chromie D's videos, and I'm literally like taking notes, and I'm like, okay, let me look this up and let me see if I like it, and then I'm gonna buy this fucking record, because like it gets a little overwhelming. And Krautrock is one of those examples of it's not even. Krautrock is nowhere near as intimidating as some other genres, in my opinion, because there's a limited amount of stuff to me. Maybe there's way more than I know about, but like, I don't know. But I just wondered like where you should go past that. You know, it's like saying I've got Metallica and I've got Slayer and I've got Anthrax. Now what? You know, it's like.
Yeah, well, that's a few. Well, feel free to hit me up anytime.
Hell yeah.
It's not like you're all this shit right now, anyway, right?
Hell
but,
yeah.
But here's sort of the two levels that I fucked with. Was there's the Julian Cope level, because like his book was kind of the first thing where I was like, oh wait, I know Can and I know Faust and those guys are great, and now he's talking about these other bands. I've never heard of this band, Let Dusseldorf say, you know. So I was like, you know, cool. So I learned a whole bunch of shit from that. But then I found a book by this guy named Dag Erik Asbjørnsen. And like, I would flip through that thing. This would have been like 96-ish, something like that. And that was just like page after page of bands I'd never heard of. So I just kind of read this shit and I kept my eyes open and found what I could and sort of built it up that way over time. But it was all kind of hit or miss. So if I can help like steer you in a certain direction, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of genres. That's what I need. I need like a, you know, in like the gaming community, when you come into a game that's pretty intimidating and like large, there are actually people they're Sherpas, and they like kind of guide you through like, okay, don't buy that armor, get this armor. Don't go that direction, go this direction. You got to do this quest before you do that quest. And like, I find in like record collecting, there's certain genres or micro genres, I'll call them, that you almost need Sherpas, or it really helps. Or you just take blind stabs, and it is what it is. But, you know.
We take a lot of chances. I was actually going to talk about that anyway. We got to sort of a later section of the show here.
Are you a New York Dolls fan at all?
Well, I don't know if I'm the fan I used to be, but I definitely, you know, love the Dolls. I mean, I have their records sitting over there and shit, too. I haven't played them in a while. What about them, though?
I don't own any. This is live at Radio Luxembourg, Paris, 1973. It's another live joint. This has got tracks from the first two albums, and it also says with plenty of banter delivered in cod French accents, which I bet that's going to be good. But you know, I love the Dolls, and that's a band I don't have anything. I don't have any Dolls at all. I don't think Steve does either. That's something that here on the show we really don't have any New York Dolls, which is kind of crazy.
1.5 records, really. You know?
Yeah.
I think if you have that first one, you're probably set. But that might be a really fun live set, especially because they're probably really drunk, at the very least.
Yeah, they were partiers, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'd like to pick some of that up. You know, a couple of months ago. You have that. Winebender says he's got that Dolls in a different pressing. Good stuff. Nice. Yeah, I sampled a little bit of it. It sounds like a good recording because I'm coming around, you know, thanks to like Vance and Greeno and all these people that buy the bootlegs, and you know, fucking Vance sent us some bootlegs and stuff, like those FM broadcasts and stuff. I've always been really, really leery of live recording stuff. Where I've heard some live recordings that are so damn bad that I don't want to go down that road. But then I've been re-enlightened to things that like Vance has said, the Alice in Chains, Guns N' Roses, the Johnny Winters, just all of that stuff is so damn good. And I'm just like, what the hell am I doing, man? There's some good stuff out there. So I need to maybe open my brain to that a little bit.
You have to make a choice whether you want to go wide or whether you want to go deep, you know?
Well, and
I actually used to be the sort of collector where I would want to have everything by a band, you know what I mean? But there came a point when, I don't know, the first time I like really did a big purge where I was like, you know something, these Alice Cooper records from the early 80s, I don't listen to them like ever, you know? And I just sort of got to a point where I was like, you know, I'd rather find more bands. I'd rather find like all these weird, like little obscure ones. And so that's the thing. I think that guys like VK or Greeno, like they're going to know every fucking record by these, you know, or every live show or whatever.
Yeah.
And just amazing, like volume of knowledge about these bands.
Yeah, I'm really ignorant to stuff like that for sure. And but I've discovered, like I said, I've heard. I'm trying to think of an example of like. Well, there's that one, King Crimson, USA. I hate that record. I hate it, man. I love King Crimson, but the record sounds like they recorded it with like realistic power horns as their only source of. So stuff like that, a great band, and you hear like a shitty recording, and I'm like, why am I? And these are all songs I also have on other albums that I can listen to that sound good. So why do I want to fuck with something that sounds like dog piss? But I'm coming around to that, because especially as you get a little longer in the tooth as a collector, you find that there's things like that you're looking for, maybe, because you've got all the Zeppelin albums and you've had them all for 15, 20 years now. So I'm looking for, if you're a big Zeppelin guy, you're looking for things that are still Zeppelin but different, or different enough that you want to collect it at least. To keep it going, to keep the party moving, you know, so I don't know. I'm coming around to it. I'm sorry, I'm being bad about reading chat. Who's open there? We got Eric Bowers up in this mug. Winebender's here. Woo! Brad chasing the classics. Woo! Carl, there's Carl. Carl bought a live DRI. It was terrible. See, that's what I'm saying. And DRIs, DRI is Carl's little icon in the Discord. So obviously Carl loves DRI. But like, there's some bands like punk rock's bad like that. I've said that before. A lot of live punk rock sounds like people just beating on trash cans. They're like, bro, live album. What? And it's like, no, it's not. You just pissed on a trash can and you put it out for $15. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, you know, a couple of months ago, we talked about this. Oh, Steve Fever's in here, down in Georgia. Hey, Steve, you've been replaced by a better-looking metal man. Metal man. Yeah, no mustache.
Dude, no mustache. I got to do mustache in moderation.
Yeah,
I put up with it all the time. It just fucking drives me nuts, man. Like, shit gets in it. Like, you smell it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And your nose, you have to wipe a little extra. It's like, man.
I decided to go with a lukewarm Steve Austin thing. Or, you know. Actually, I kind of look like Mark Harmon in summer school right now. Except for I'm better looking. But, boom. You know, a couple of months ago, we talked about this monster, pun intended, Godzilla box set with like all of these soundtracks from the Godzilla movies. And I'm a huge Godzilla buff. Collect all the shit on VHS. I've got probably 20 Godzilla movies on VHS. But the shit was like, and everybody kind of drooled over it because it was super dope. but it was it's like $500 and also sold out like that. I mean, just like lickety split. But I'm happy to report there's something a little different and it's kind of similar coming out this week. Boom. Godzilla, the 7-inch collection. It's the first 7-inch single vinyl collection for the Godzilla series. Contains 9 vinyls. That's plural. Contains 9 vinyls from the first Godzilla vinyl to the latest Shin Godzilla in 2016. Limited edition it is. Now, this is from Universal Japan, and very collectible and very, very cool. And it'll only cost you about $140. So $140 US will get you in the door for this. That's still too rich for my blood, but it's a lot better than $500.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I mean, that's really cool. That doesn't bother me.
That's why, you know, I bring a lot of that stuff to the table here. That's, to me, is like really cool stuff. And I'm thinking of people that the way they buy records is like, that looks cool. I'll take it. That looks cool. I'll take it. And I'm not that guy. But I know some people are like that. You're looking for something to throw a fucking wad of money at. And I respect that, but I'm not that guy, you know. But I love to hip other people that, you know, watch the show that may be that guy. I see this is something, I don't own any of these, but god damn, I love these things, man. The Brown Acid soundtracks from the Brown Acid compilation series from Rod and Easy. The 12th Trip came out today. Heavy Rock from the Underground, Come Down. This is the 12th one. It's, man, they just keep cranking these things out. I really, really love this series, man. And I know Mr. Bizarro has these like put on like 8 tracks and shit, man, which is super dope. What a better thing to have put on 8-track than this stuff, man. But, you know, a bunch of bands you never heard of before. If you've got any of these, holy Lord. I'm sure, I'm not sampled this one, but I'm sure it's great. Got to know that a new one's coming out. Speaking of, do you have any of those, Aaron?
No, I don't have any of those.
I've listened to them. I've streamed them. They're fantastic. I for some reason, I've just never pulled the trigger.
I'm trying to fuck with them, I'll be honest, because that shit is so up my alley that I would start wanting to hunt down the bands and shit. And I haven't listened to a lot of that kind of music lately. If I've been like huge on these kicks like that, that'll be one thing. But I've kind of been going back and forth between like the metal and stoner thing, and then, you know.
Well, here's a via Aaron Griffin in our Discord, the Top Shot, a French stoner rock instrumental band called King Weed. Have you ever heard of these guys? This is
now to notice, that's kind of an obvious name for one.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Some of the groups, the stoner rock groups I've been, it's like you can't be in a stoner rock doom metal band and not have Weed, Wizard, or Witch in your name. That's like a requirement. But these guys, I'm going to call it, this is Smokin' Land Part 3 came out today. And I think they released it's a French band, it's instrumental stuff. It's very good. I jammed it today. I think it's very good, fuzzy ass stoner instrumental stuff. I really dug it. But since the first LP from these guys came out in 2017, and I think there's been like 12 LPs or something since then. I'm calling them the fucking King Gizzard of the stoner world. These guys have kicked out. I second guessed my stats on this band like 4 times. I'm like, that's not right. I thought they went back. I saw the list of albums. I was like, oh shit, so they've been making shit since like 03 and shit. And I'm like, no, 2017's the first record. Like, no, it's not. And I kept looking back and hitting this other page and going, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Aaron says it right now. They put out a new album like every month. Yeah, it's like King Gizzard, man. Yeah, all
yeah, we're not going to collect all that shit.
No. But this one just came out, so you got a chance of grabbing it.
I did get that into Sunrock.
What now?
If I got that into it, though, I would. That's the thing. If I were like really excited about King Gizzard, I would get everything. But I did get that hyped about Sun Ra. So here on the one hand, I'm going, oh yeah, man, I don't want to fuck with all that stuff because it's so much. But I have a fucking 100 Sun Ra records sitting over there.
Sun Ra, Zappa, and the new version of that is King Gizzard. It's like once you start,
yeah,
it's like you kind of I gotta feel the yeah. You find there's one you missed, and it's like whoa, and at least I will say at least the King Gizzard records are reasonable. But like with some of the Zappa and Sun Ra stuff, if you've missed one, or if you've got a hole in your collection, you may end up fucking paying for that shit through the nose.
The thing about Frank Zappa is that his records kind of find their way into your collection too, more than the other guys do. Like I don't think I've never felt like Sun Ra records have just sort of found their way into. No. I've never gone to the shelf and go, oh holy shit, here's a Sun Ra record I didn't know I had. Where with Frank Zappa, I'll be like, oh I forgot I had. What's the one called? Overnight Sensation, or something like that of that caliber. But it's because I'll see one like Hot Rats, and it's like the guy wants $10. I'm like, yeah, I forgot how good this record was, and then I'll forget about it again. So,
yeah, I just actually,
maybe it's just me.
I don't even want to talk about it because it'll bring me down on a week of vacation coming up. But a stack of like records about this big, that the cat fucked the spawns up, which includes the majority of my Mothers of Invention stuff.
I don't see anything, man. I'd be bummed.
It's tough sledding. It sucks enough to where I don't pay attention to it, and I don't even want to like recognize it or talk about it, because it's like out of sight, out of mind. It didn't happen. Kind of thing, but anyway.
I still know that feeling. I've never had a cat fuck my records up, but I remember, I was still in high school when I bought a Budgie record, and I was putting it on for like the first or second time, and I fucking dropped it, and I put a scratch in it, and I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to think about it. I just put the record over there and tried to forget about the whole thing for a little while.
Well, exactly, and it sucks because all these records are together on my shelf. Yeah. So, and I keep this. If you see it on Wednesday, I keep this big sheet up over this whole stack of records right here during the week. So, like from here down, unless I'm streaming, I keep this sheet up, and that's kept a good deal of that out. But however, for whatever reason, and I keep the cats out of here as much as I can, but I mean, all it takes is like one time and the door is cracked and I don't realize it. And one of the cats specifically, and I don't want to call his name out, Porky, comes in here and just laser beams like, oh fuck, you got some records? And
everybody loves records, man.
You know what I'm saying? I can't really, Actually, you can see them right there. Look right there. That's my Mothers of Invention records right there. I know, man.
Take it off right now.
That's fine, man. You just keep on keeping on. That's all I can say. All right, let's get into a little bit of what we played tonight. I'll bust through this, and then we'll get into... Or you want to do a little discussion? You want to do a discussion first? You want to do a what we played first?
What I pulled for like what we played is just like shit that I've sort of played for the last few days anyway.
Yeah.
I don't joke about listening to my own records, but it's funny because there's one here that was in what we played from Grown Man Record Night from last week.
Oh, that's hell yeah.
So that's kind of what I've got. So we can start with that and then move into the other shit if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
bug here. Yeah. So I already showed this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one aside, but this is the first one. This is the first Guru for anyone, just in case I didn't say, it's called UFO, and it's awesome. And this is a reissue on Think Progressive. These were like 2000-ish, these guys came out. They still turn up from time to time, but it's one of those records that it might be out of print right now, but people rediscover it and reissue it again every couple of years. So just be a little bit patient. You can get one of these on record for maybe $30 if you have to pay that. So. All right, what else do you have? I mean, how do you want to do this? Should we alternate or?
I can. We can do it that way.
Okay.
So this was left on the table from last week. I picked this up.
Good.
Jeff Vore New Wave. There's a lack of chrome on this camera. That's okay. This is what was this? Is it a Dutch New Wave compilation? I forget what it is. 1977 Berkeley Records.
That's a really cool piece.
I mean, we listen to the side that was. I think I think this side, yeah. Jonathan Rickman, Sex Pistols, Motorhead, Dwight Twilley Band, which I don't know. The Radiators from Space, which I know them. Radio Stars, Earthquake. The other side's got Tom Petty's on here. Generation X is on here. But very cool, and I picked this up for like $3, but I keep forgetting. How do I forget what camera I'm on when I'm the one punching the fucking buttons? Jesus Christ, man. Get it together.
Oh, I need to turn my phone. Look, I'm pulling a Steve here. Hey, here, check this out. Who am I?
Are you? Get off your phone.
I do feel like since I kind of started that, I mean, it didn't really become a meme until Chromie Dean did that with Max, right? I want to hear your stories, you know what I mean? I don't care what Wikipedia says. It's like, if you get a fact wrong, that's fine, man. Just fucking be yourself.
Yeah, see, now I'm lucky in the fact that I've got this big screen in front of me and I'm wearing dark-ass glasses. Now, full disclosure, I do this... Oh,
yeah, you're just as fucking guilty, I know.
Well... I'm guilty in that I do this. I do this Friday morning, sober as fuck, and kind of get an idea, and then I'm just Friday night, like right now. I'm ticking boxes, baby. I'm going down the list. Now, if I need to cheat a little bit, like I'm cheating right now. You don't know I'm cheating. I'm looking over here. I'm looking over here. You don't know that. I'm wearing dark glasses, but I do try to run through it and kind of get familiar with it, Michael familiar, so that when I comes Friday night drunk time, it's not the first time I'm looking at it. And the man, which I have done shows like that, but like, I'm just refreshing my memory. Record night doesn't start at 8:30 Friday night. It goes all week. It takes a lot of shit to be this fucking fucked up and be able to carry through it. You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Yeah. Steve says his list is on his effing phone. He can't bring his computer with him. Yeah, see? I've got it made over here sometimes, but I'm also I'm rocking this shit down here. I got everything hotkeyed up. I'm rocking stuff up like a damn Casio keyboard over here. I learn my little hotkeys and moving stuff around so that I can like quickly move back and forth between stuff.
Was that an accident? You fucked that up.
No, I wanted to hit it. But yeah. All right. Did you do record number 2? Yeah, go to record number 2. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, longtime viewers might remember this one from last week.
I played that for Max last week.
That's right.
Because Chromie told me a long time ago that was his favorite band.
That's awesome. You know, this is my favorite Motley Crue record too. I'll tell you, I did pull this one though just to show because it's kind of cool. So this is one of the leather pressings of the first one. It's the logo
nice.
small. That's the easy way to tell. And when I lived in LA, these actually turned up from time to time. So
actually,
my hands, but
the other Crue, that's the only Crue I own, honestly. And that, yeah, it kind of fell in my lap. So I didn't seek it out. It just kind of fell in my lap. I didn't have it from back when I was a kid or no shit like that.
When I'm in the right mood, I love this record.
I love them.
When I'm kind of day to day, I can still listen to Shot at the Devil, but this one kind of sounds a little cheeseball for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this past week, I've been playing this record and songs like fucking like merry-go-round, I've been like, oh yeah, right on, you know. But if I'm feeling like pissy or whatever, you know, I listen to that and I go, fuck this corny ass.
So High Defamation says Theater of Pain is underrated.
Yeah, well. They call it the Peanut Gallery for a reason.
That's right.
So yeah, anyway, this one I can just pretty much always pull out, you know what I mean? It just sounds great. You know, everything
It really
about
does. It's a fun ass record, man. Hey, cheers, everybody.
You know something? That is the only Beatles cover I can think of right off where I don't at least sometimes get up and skip past it. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Helter Skelter by the Crew. They fucking nailed it like nobody else has ever nailed a Beatles
That's
cover.
funny because I told Steve, like, because he did the Vinyl Archivist contest, the Beatles thing, and we played that live last week, and I was like, hey man, what about this Beatles cover? You know, and he was like, actually that's pretty good.
Really good.
This was something I found in a stack. I was like, okay, bet we hadn't played. I'll put this in the jazz stack for tonight. Back in Bean's bag, not Steve's sack, but Bean's bag. Coleman Hawkins and Clark Terry.
You know, it's funny, the delay is fucking me on seeing the thing, but that's okay.
It's Columbia 63 on Columbia, and I could tell it was a little early. I thought it maybe even been a little earlier than that, honestly. But some of the track names on this actually made me say a tune for the tutor. Don't worry about me, just squeeze me. Feeding the Bean, Michelle, and Squeeze Me. And funny enough, the drum, you know, Tommy Flanagan's on piano, Major Holly's on bass, but Dave Bailey plays drums. Who we love, Dave Bailey here on the show. Got his solo record, 2 Feet in the Gutter, where we look at his dick because he's sitting on the curb and you can look at his crotch. That record. Love the Dave Bailey Quintet. That's a quintet of his.
Me and that record cover go way back too.
Oh yeah, man. You know, I've never seen that record other than when I bought it.
Really?
How many times has that happened to you? Like that Dave Bailey Quintet. I bought that at some, you know, when I had a very small collection, and I bought it because it's like a jazz record. And actually, I think that's where the black guy smoking a cigarette came from. Is that record? I think it's that one. It's a very record. But it's one of those things where I look at the label, I look at the players, and I'm like, this guy's, it was 20 years ago. I was like, these guys sound familiar. I don't know. But since then, I've literally never seen that used like in a store ever. I don't think it's that rare. It's not like a $100 record or nothing. It's just doesn't pop up.
I got my copy actually when I was just starting to really get into jazz in earnest, and you can get a lot of those Scorpio reissues for like $9 or $10 a pop. And I was still living in San Francisco proper, so I would like walk over to the hill to the Rasputins and just be like, yeah, I'm going to spend $50 and just grab like 5 things. And that came home on one of those excursions. It was, I mean, I don't know what kind of reissue it is or whatever, but it was not like, you know, an audio file, anything.
Yeah.
Like it was sitting there. So I'd seen it around, you know, but I don't know if I've seen a used copy like ever, but I might not have noticed it a long time ago too. So who the hell knows?
I'll ask you this as a jazz guy, what's your feelings of like being snooty about jazz pressings, and not just within a label, but like reissue labels and stuff like that?
Okay, there are a couple labels that just kind of like get under my skin a little bit. Like that fucking, there's a label, I guess it's called Dole or something, DOL. It's one of these kind of semi-shady looking Russian labels. Yep. And I got a copy of the Royal Flush by Donald Byrd.
Yeah.
It was one of their reissues, and I noticed that they had reproduced the cover art, but they'd taken the Blue Note logo off it.
Oh, yeah.
And that pissed me off so much that I haven't bought another one of their records since. But if you're talking based on like sound quality or whatever, I mean, fundamentally, I'd rather have the records and like learn about it and enjoy it and take it in and then move on to the next thing.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like,
depressing, man.
For instance, you know, I was very, you know, obviously growing up here in High Point, North Carolina, I was very familiar with John Coltrane. I knew Miles Davis. I knew, you know, Donald. I mean, I knew jazz players. but was still very ignorant to the overall grand scope of the jazz scene. And so like, and then I realized like, oh yeah, you basically like having a jazz Sherpa. It's like, oh yeah, you like John Coltrane? You ever heard Ornette Coleman? I was like, no. And then I hear Ornette Coleman for the first time, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And I'm in love. I'm in love like a fucking smitten kitten from middle school. And I don't own any digitally or on CD or any of that. And I go into my local record store and they have a $15 Ornette Coleman, The Shape of Jazz to Come. And I don't know if it's on like Wax Time or one of those shittier reissue labels. It's a little, I'm sure they're taking the CD audio and smashing it down on the record or whatever it is. But I didn't own any to begin with. So to me, it's worth it. And it's one of the records we've played probably more than anything here on the show.
Yeah, I do play it a lot. You know, it's a fucking great record. You're right, too.
Yeah.
You know what I think part of this shit is you know, people that romanticize the 90s because nobody gave a shit about vinyl. So you get everything cheap and, you know, you get 1,000 records for $1 each before you started having to spend any money at all. You know, these kind of stories. But people forget what a luxury it is to be able to walk into the record store and say, you know, I feel like an Ornette Coleman record today, and have there actually be Ornette Coleman records fucking sitting there. You don't have to like hunt and hope and try and get lucky and then get one of those shady ass reissues, because that's all you can just make do with it anyway. You know, it's like as it is now, maybe this batch of reissues isn't the batch of reissues I really want to be grabbing from, but just having the thing there.
Yeah.
It's an improvement in a lot of ways, you know. And if I get a pressing that's bad, dude, I mean, yeah, it pisses me off as much as anything, you know. But you know, you win some, you lose some. You can spend, like, I remember one because it really chapped my nuts because it was a really shitty pressing, and it was one of those 75th anniversary Blue Note ones, which I thought they might have given a little more of a shit about.
Yeah, I've heard those have got some bad ones actually.
Yeah, I've gotten a few bad ones out of that series, you know, and I minded less when it was those Scorpio ones I was paying $9 for them. You know, if I paid $8.99, well, whatever. But if I'm paying $20, I kind of care a little bit more, you know. But anyway, one of them I remember specifically is Speak Like a Child by Herbie Hancock. And it pisses me off because I love Herbie Hancock. But the fact is, I have like 19 other Herbie Hancock records sitting there. And this one is probably in the bottom third as far as how much I actually reach for it among Herbie Hancock records.
Yeah.
So like, do I want to sit here and like go through these different pressings and keep rebuying the same fucking bottom third Herbie Hancock record? Or do I want to like move on and find new shit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I think that, I mean, that just feels more like actual obsessive compulsion to me, you know? I mean, if I'm the same way about a label, I suppose I can't really throw any stones on the one hand, but that aspect of it just feels a little too obsessive compulsive. And it's like, is that still fun at that point or no?
Yeah.
I mean, on one level, if you have a better sounding record, that's great. But how much energy am I going to put into that?
Right. Well, and that's what I always thought, but like the Ornette Coleman thing, man. Like I literally paid, that record was $15 brand new. And I knew at that price point, is it going to be, you know, Blue Note quality audiophile type? Probably not. But I didn't own the record at all, and if it sucks when I get home, number one, I'm a kind of a novice collector at that point. Am I going to be able to fucking tell how? I mean, I got a good ear for music and sound, but when it comes to vinyl and that kind of thing, I was not that trained in that kind of stuff. Am I going to be able to tell? And thirdly. I'm out $15. Cocksucker spend that on a hamburger. So really, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? You know, so that's, you know, people throw $15 around like it's nothing. If I get Ornette Coleman's Shape of Jazz to Come for $15 and something we've literally played 1,000 times here on the show, yeah, it's not the official reissue or the OG, but it's we have 100% got our money's worth, and it sounds great. We vibe when we put it on.
If you're going to measure it as far as how much enjoyment you've gotten out of it, $15 a fucking steal.
Fucking A, man. Hell yeah. Is that on me or is it on you?
What?
The next record.
Oh shit, I don't know.
What's the last one you put down?
Oh, I showed the crew last. You haven't shown anything yet.
No. I showed one. This was we got
you showed the crew.
We got a thing where you cash in banana bucks over on Twitch, and you can choose the next LP, 1,000 banana bucks, and you can choose the next LP as long as we own it on wax. Our good buddy Mr. Bizarro cashed in 1,000 banana bucks and said, "You got It's Hard by The Who?" I'm like, fucking A, man. Speaking of early record night stuff, man, we used to jam this shit early on in record night. And, it's not Keith Moon Who, but, oh my God, man. Eminence Front, I love that song so much. That song's got such a vibe to it. I don't give a shit. I'll fight anybody over that one. That's a terrific song. It's not my favorite Who record, but who the fuck took a bite out of this? Like, look at this.
I was assuming it was one of your kitties.
I mean, that's a bite. That's a legit bite. But I love that. So Mr. Bizarro cashed in his banana bucks. Got a little Who Eminent Front. Side A.
Actually, it looks like mice, is what that looks like.
That's possible. I mean, we catch mice around here, we'll fry them up. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck those mice, man. We'll show them who the apex predator is.
Carl wants to know if I'd fight Mike V. I mean, I'd hit him when he wasn't looking and run like hell. My dad always taught me from when I was like 5 years old. My dad's a little guy, but he's a tough son of a bitch. And I mean a tough son of a bitch. At 5'7", 155 pounds. And at one point, my dad got into it with some guys at a bar down there in Dillon, South Carolina. And my dad waited outside of the door of the bar. He went over to some contractor's truck and grabbed a 2x4 and sat over there outside of the bar door like this for like 30, 40 minutes. And this big son of a bitch walked out the door, and my dad just goes, pow! And just hits him right in the fucking face with a 2x4. And so my dad taught me really early on, he was like, if a guy's bigger than you or he's tougher than you, never be afraid to pick up an equalizer. He always called it an equalizer. That's a fucking equalizer. And I'll use the words of our good buddy of the program, Joseph Coney. I don't start wars. I finish them.
Hey, you want to hear a tactic that I just heard recently for getting out of a fight? Is you just say you have to take a shit.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
To stop you.
I'll tell you. But what's up, JJ22 Explosive Hits? Hey, thanks for stopping by, bud. Really appreciate you, man. I went into a really sketchy neighborhood convenience store at one point and realized, because I'm aware of what's going on, working in the news game, you had to really be aware of like things that are happening behind you and around you kind of thing. And I realized as I was walking into this convenience store, these guys were kind of circling around. And I'm like, it was one of those situations where I didn't belong here. It was very obvious I didn't belong here. So I go in and I come out. And when I come out, from two sides, these guys start approaching me. And what's the best way to put this? I acted as if I had some developmental challenges. And was like, hey guys, I'm gonna try to find, I'm going to the mall, and did stuff like that. And they like, as they were getting ready to like murk me, were like, man, we can't. I mean, even these guys, even these guys had a heart to where like, we can't fuck up some kid that's just like, he's got some troubles and stuff, man. That's, and they just kind of backed off, and I went to my car. So I literally like, excuse my language, I played retard to get out of a fight.
It's a good tactic, man.
It's all I could do. Nice Arby's hat. Thanks, man. I was telling folks earlier, I worked at Arby's for 9 years, like through college. And I found this in the stack earlier tonight, man. I love some Arby's. Especially some beef and cheddars. Oh, baby. Remember back when we had the 3 for $5 beef and cheddars? Man. Smoke a big fatty. Get some 3 for $5 action. Curly fries. Man, honey hush.
3 for $5 action.
All right,
Sounds like it costs more than it delivers.
That's right. Your turn, man.
All right. So this is another one I pulled out, man, that I've been playing kind of a lot. Fucking Scorpions. I came to this band late, man. I was in my 30s when I got into this band, but this record,
like the Scorpions.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I pulled this one out too. Again, just it's a cooler one, even though I've been playing the other one more. But this is a Taken by Force with the Japanese cover. So I think there's a reissue of it now, but it was pretty hard to find for a while.
I would 100% imagine you being a guy that would shit all over the Scorpions.
I fucking love this. I love the 70s Scorpions. The 80s Scorpions, I really like Blackout. I kind of have a soft spot for that album.
Blackout.
But like Love Drive, and then especially getting into like the Rocky with a hurricane territory, you know, I understand. I don't really blame them for wanting to be successful, but
sure,
these records I think are fucking awesome. The first 5 records I think are just essential.
I'm pretty naive to their discography, so how many records are before the Rocky Like a Hurricane shit?
7 or 8.
Really?
Yeah, there are 5 that I'd say you need, which are Lonesome Crow, this one, this is the second one. Lonesome Crow is probably the last you need of the first 5 because it's a prog record. It's kind of a weird prog record. It's cool the way it fits into the whole story more than it's cool as a standalone prog record. Although it is really cool as a standalone prog record. I don't want to shit on it too much. But it's not really the Scorpions sound. This is the first one that really sounds like them.
Gotcha.
And it has like Speedy's coming on it and Fly People Fly. But here's the thing. The reason I really kind of fixated on this is because this is their second record, right? It's kind of their first one is like something resembling the band they would become. And this fucking drummer on this record is awesome. And he's some guy like the one that the Scorpions is kind of known for is Herman Rarebell, right? But this guy, Jürgen Rosenthal, like I looked him up because I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
That sounds like a guy that's in the VC.
Yeah, he kind of does.
European VC checking in?
Huh?
European VC checking in?
Something like that. Yeah, so anyway, it's just some guy, but he's playing these really cool drum patterns. And I'm like, man, that's part of why these songs are so great. And it's this little like nugget that's just buried inside of here. And Klaus Meine's vocal performance on this thing is so incredible that you can listen to this record 10 times and not even realize how much awesome shit is going on in there, you know? So yeah, I love the Scorpions. Is that enough hype for Fly to the Rainbow for y'all?
I mean, and I love it. For years, I've hated, Rock Me Like a Hurricane stuff. But now being a Carolina Hurricanes fan and, in the playoffs, that's got another little kind of vibe going on. So go Canes,
It can be
baby.
extra annoying, right?
Yeah.
You can't get away from it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a hype song. So I'm like, and that's like, I wasn't the biggest Journey fan, but the Cubs were doing Cubs were started rocking some Journey stuff back in the day, trying to chase the pennant, and kind of locked onto it. Whatever. This was something a site that you actually turned me on to. Picked this up sealed. X Thrash with Class, Stricken by the Night. And this was sealed when I bought it. And this actually, it's a little bit warpy, but it kind of, these guys are awesome. Look at this. Look at this cover, or the back cover.
It's so funny, man.
It really is. And I remember asking you about this before I bought it, and I could not pass. It was like $6.99, brand new.
I think I told you the truth.
Yeah, you said it was like good, but like it's okay, but like not fantastic. But I found myself really, really enjoying that record, especially for the price.
Awesome.
It's not the best thrash record ever, but
it has its own sound though.
Dude, for fucking, it's worth like it's worth $10 just for that hype sticker that says Thrash with Class.
Right on, man. So you're like starting out ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even before I knew if I liked it or not, Thrash with Class is pretty awesome. But I really dig that. I've listened to that 2 or 3 times all the way through, and I'm vibing every time we listen to it, man. I can't argue with
Awesome.
that. I gotta grab a brewski. Keep going though. Go to the next one.
All right, cool, man. This might not be a good one to go to then, but I'll just go to 2 if I need to. Fuck it. So I pulled this one out, man. This is just a really good heavy metal album. Like next time you're like sitting around, and you're like, I've got $20 burning a hole in my pocket, and I want to get a really good metal album. This fucking Wrath record is just fucking, it's so good. And this is another one I'm late to too. I'll be honest, man. Fit of Anger, because it was always kind of around and it wasn't hard to find. And eventually I decided I wanted to check it out just because it was on King Classic. So if y'all know your like distro history with your metal shit, then King Classic was the Rockadrome dude's old label back in the 80s and shit. So and then there was a reissue of this record on like Medusa, where I guess the mix was a little bit different, supposedly not as good. So
I'm sorry. Now, what is this again?
This is Wrath, they're called. I start flipping the record like this, you can really see it. So yeah, and it's called Fit of Anger. I think it's called Fit of Anger. But yeah, I was just saying, it's just a really solid heavy metal record. Like if you want to get a really good heavy metal record, this is what you want it to sound like. So yeah. Do you prefer the metal, no matter what genre you would say, that's melodic versus like an aggressive like vocals? Do you prefer one over the other, or do you like both? I like both. I tend to go more for the melodic stuff than like the thrashy shit. And like, the shouty stuff I'm still okay with. The deathy shit, my patience is a lot lower for than it used to be. And
that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. If there's any like stoner stuff that I've had trouble getting into, actually, it's been the stuff that has a little more of that black metal sound to it too. Like, who comes to mind right away is Grief, who Eric Bauer turned me on to. They're a really good band, but I kind of have to be in just the right space because he has that kind of more extreme sound. And I just like, I don't know, I just prefer someone who can sing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I do too, especially in that genre. And even more so, like, I love some instrumental stoner doom stuff to where I don't even have to, because nothing pisses me off more, and this has happened so many times in this genre, where a band comes in and the songs are long anyway, and you'll have 2 minutes of like, I'm like, oh my god, that is the thickest, gnarliest fuzz tone. Just I'm vibing. It's the greatest tone I've ever heard in an album. And then the vocals come in, and I'm like, and you fucking ruined it. You ruined this whole record. It's not always the case, because I love some aggressive vocals, but in that genre specifically, vocals like this can just ruin the record for me.
Yeah, even like Baroness is too that way for me, honestly. I mean, I like them a lot too, but like even them,
Yeah, it's a fine line for me. In more traditional heavy metal or like, thrashy stuff, like I can give things a little more of a pass, but stoner rock, doom rock stuff, I turn it off real quick. Stuff that I start out thinking like, man, I can't wait to share this with so-and-so. And then 2 minutes into it, I'm like, I'm already Xing out of my window, You know
where the fine line is for me is when it sounds lazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it sounds like, and I feel like a lot of time those kinds of vocals are lazy, I mean, that shit sounded extreme as hell in 1987, but it's been a long time now,
Yeah.
So when I feel like it's lazy, that's kind of when it pisses me off.
I think stoner doom genre kind of falls into the same thing as punk rock, where there's only so many ways you can write a punk song, and so you have to kind of really stand out and be extraordinary to kind of punch through the bullshit. And stoner and doom is the same way. Everybody does the repetitive riffs over and over again because that's kind of what's the genre's become. But the way that you do it, and you've got to have some kind of je ne sais quoi to the way that you're doing it, or it's gonna fall into the ether and just not. It's gonna be forgettable, like that. You know, there's how many punk bands are there? There's 50 million punk bands, and
Oh, totally.
and how many of them sound so similar? But when I hear one of those punk bands, I'm immediately like, whoa, and it blows my mind. You know, but some of the other ones I'm like, meh, all right, cool, but you know, good luck, God bless you, but you know, I'm not gonna buy your.
Totally. Man, if you want to know the truth, I don't really like talking about punk even because I just don't have any appreciation for it anymore, because I feel like all my appreciation for it has been sucked out, you know, and like the only, like, I still have a skeleton, but that skeleton consists of like the Misfits and like the Anti-Nowhere League and shit that I listen to anyway, you know, and even some of that shit I'm sick of. So,
well, for me, it's another one of those genres that I'm hip to, but like still pretty naive. And when you get super underground, that I'm still finding bands. Like I just found the Meat Man, which I love the Meat Man, you know, and like I had no idea they existed or what they were about. You know, but they got a song called what is it?
Crippled Children Suck.
Yeah, Crippled Children Suck. I mean, that's okay. Well, you belong on this show, motherfucker. Your record belongs on this show. Congratulations.
But see, that's the thing. That's why I don't like to talk about it, because I don't want to shit on something like that. You know what I mean? Because I remember seeing that record around. That one never did it for me, you know? Whereas with the stoner shit, even if it's kind of bad, I get excited about talking about it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that's why I feel like a dick even talking about it this way. I'm just kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
Punk has been very important to me. And I don't feel like I am currently in a place where I can do it justice for when it's not just good, but great. You know what I mean?
Well, and I've found
you're getting too cerebral about this shit.
Well, much like a lot of the metal stuff that I'm kind of finding, like, you know, like through you and Chromium Dioxide, like some punk people in the VC, I'm finding some things and developing a little more of appreciation and finding out new things about bands that, you know, I wasn't familiar with, and maybe my ears are a little more open to bringing in stuff like that, where maybe a year or two ago I would have shut something down a little quicker, and now I'm listening to people talk about punk. I feel a little more like, I like punk. Why am I not collecting more or seeking out more of this? Because I really like it, but I tend to shut it down a little more. And I was doing that with heavy metal for a long time. If it didn't fit this, that, and the other thing in my categories, I was shutting it the fuck down right off the bat. And I was pretty narrow-minded, and now I'm realizing I'm missing out on a lot of great music doing that. Here's a boss man, gave this to the show a long time ago. Paul Hardcastle, Rainforest, from WALB TV. Out of Albany, I would assume. And this is, look at this cover. It's just fantastic. And didn't play this for the longest time. And I didn't know what to think of this record. Now put it on. It's on Profile Records, 1985. Oh wait, yeah, 85. It's very electro. It's got kind of a breakdancey kind of beat to it, and absolutely love it. One of my favorite records of this kind of genre. This is kind of sought after, I believe. And it was a box of like free stuff that the boss man gave me that had like some Lauryn Hill singles and some Busta Rhymes stuff in it. And it had a lot of, what's the group on Passport Records? Passport. What's the band on Passport Records? Oh yeah, fucking Passport. But, you know, where they're kind of hit or miss. You know, some of them are really good, some of them are really bad. But like, I don't know, but when I finally put that on, it was, dude looks like Wallowitz from Big Bang Theory. Yeah, but it's fantastic. I love it. Maybe, and becoming more of a fan of like synthwave stuff. Maybe that's where that comes from. Taste change over time, and we'll get more to that later, coming up. All right, go ahead.
Shit, I still have a few here, man. How many more do you have?
Like 4 or 5.
All right, I'm just looking at the time. You know, I don't mind. Fuck
4-hour show. 4-hour show.
All right, so here, this is the second record by Kraken. It's called Kraken 2. And there have been a few bands called this, but these are the guys from Colombia. And I've been kind of...
South Carolina?
Yeah, no, like Colombia, like Medellin's Colombia.
Ah, cocaine.
And these guys are sort of like the odd man out because like the 80s, like Colombian band, or the Medellin band specifically, were like more like, they were all like these really extreme bands at the time, like Parabellum and shit like that. And these guys were kind of, you know, on the melodic side and kind of a little bit poppier. So these are like Colombian reissues of the first two records. The first one's over there. This is the second one, which doesn't seem to get as much love as the first one. And, you know, far be it from me to underappreciate one Colombian record over another by the same band. So yeah, Kraken 2. If you want to hear like a weird melodic record and you don't mind like paying a lot of money to like have them fucking mail it to you from Colombia, this is a great record.
So how do you, I mean, being a metal fan, how do you start jumping into finding stuff from other countries? Just taking stabs, or like internet forums, or?
Well, yeah, for me it was a lot of like forums and things like that, taking stabs. Like Kraken, I recognize the first record because it one I'd sort of seen on lists like for a lot of times over the years. It was sort of one of those that like some of those really serious European collectors were out, you know, looking for the shit from South America and that. And I was like, oof, you know, like I was afraid to go there at that point in time. So it's one of those things where, believe it or not, I've kind of been keeping my eyes open for a copy of that record for close to 20 years, just on the strength of the cover.
Wow.
I feel like I should have shown that first cover now. And you know, when a reissue comes rolling around, it's like, oh well, shit. I guess I better pull the trigger on that guy, you know.
Hell yeah. I'm always,
again, you know, okay, I paid $30 to ship 2 records here from Colombia.
wow.
Okay, that kind of sucked. But compared with what originals cost, I spent less than one of them would have set me back. So there we go. The
That's
pricing, they're kind of shitty too. The pressings from Argentina seem to be better than the Colombian ones.
And once you start kind of going down that road, is it tough to kind of come back where you like, you know, looking for stuff from other countries? Does the stuff from the USA kind of become kind of pedantic and, you know, like?
You know, it depends. It depends on when you catch me. I mean, sometimes, yeah. But I mean, I just listened to The Crew earlier today, so you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, and Eric Bauer did turn me on to a lot of the Colombian bands like that. Past that sort of first layer, he just said something in the chat here, so I'll give him a little shout out. High Defamation.
Fantastic channel. Check out High Defamation on YouTube if you guys aren't subscribed. Please.
But Kraken was not one of them. I'm not sure that Eric would like Kraken. They might be too kind of corny for him. Reno would like Kraken.
That's a Greeno band?
That's a Greeno band, yeah, for sure.
This was a dig it a week from last week.
It's a Greeno band. It's not a total Greeno band.
Gotcha.
Like a total Greeno band would probably be too much for me too, but it's a Greeno band for sure.
Dig of the week from last week. A hole in my collection for a very long time, and then I realized like they're not shipping out these reissues right now. It's kind of becoming hard to find these, and I was like, let me snag it. Black Flag's My War, which we talked about. We played side 2 tonight, which has the more quote unquote heavy metal side of Black Flag. There's guitar solos, it's kind of doomy, you know, whatever. But
dude, I think whoever calls that the heavy metal side of Black Flag probably doesn't like heavy metal very much.
That's, you know,
the low side too of My War, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if metal is the correct appellation for it.
You know, when I first listened to that, that's the first thing that came to my mind was like, wow, this is not Black Flag. This is like a metal record. And it's kind of like, but looking back on it, it's kind of like, it's like a high school metal band. But I appreciate that in its own way. But I love the record, don't get me wrong. But like, it's
a metal band that just discovered opiates.
Yeah. But I love that it's that they were doing something different, and it was like And maybe it's just this. I love the fact that they were pissing their own fans off. And I've always been a huge fan of pissing off your own fan base for whatever reason.
It's totally true, man.
Yeah. It's I used to do that. I mean, in a minor way, like, I don't know. It's the old Groucho Marx thing. I never want to belong to a club that would have me as a member. So I always loved pissing off our own fans.
You look at reissues of those Black Flag records. Have we talked about this before?
No, what now?
You know, people are like, oh, is this like this St. Vitus record now? Is this one of the OGs or is this one of the reissues, you know, or blah, 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 you know, and the different pressings or something like that? Like, I personally talked with someone at SST when they were redoing the St. Vitus because I'd become such a fucking St. Vitus fan, just coincidentally right at that point in time. That I was calling them up and saying, hey, I want to order everything you've got. Shit. But I was asking about these reissues, and he were like, dude, these aren't even reissues. This is like, I don't remember if it was the covers or the records that they had to redo, but like either the one or the other, they just had sitting around because they couldn't sell them back then. And they were like, well, now that people kind of like this stuff, I guess we should like complete the package and try to sell these now or something. But he was like, yeah, it was like the exact same like plates and art and whatever else.
Wow.
Like there's no difference between the originals and the reissues. I mean, so like if you one of those reissues and you spent $10 for it, and you didn't get one for $45, the same thing off eBay, you were smart.
Hell yeah. Well, it sounded great. And this is why, you know, I've wanted this record for a long time, but it was a reissue and like a $20 reissue, which is it's fair. But I would go in there and there's always like great used stuff I wanted to pick up in lieu of that because that's obviously not going to be around very long. But then when I had this large stack of stuff last week, it's like, you know, like he's like, it's not listed on the distributor's list anymore. And he was like, because what really stuck in my craw is the Minutemen's double nickels on the dime, which you can't even find the reissues now. The reissues are going for like $80 on Discogs or whatever. And they're just like, they're gone. Everything's gone. And I was and I'm not going to do that, but I realized and I was like, is this still available? And he was like, let me check, and like looked it up, and he was like, dude, My War is not on the distributor list anymore because he's had it for a long time. And I was, it's not there. And SST has been kind of doing that, especially during the pandemic. So it may be a total product of COVID and like whatever. But it's not there. And he was like, this is not on the distributor list. I'm like, oh, that's a great way to sell a record, Jonathan. You know, he was laughing, but I was like, well, I'm gonna buy it now because it's $20. It's like, I don't want this to be an $80 thing that I make a mistake on, and I want it anyway. So let me just get it now. I'll take the hit now.
Yeah, listen, any of the SST shit, I'd say be patient, man, because unless like Negative Land, where there was a falling out between the label and the band, especially such a public one, maybe not, okay? But if you're talking like St. Vitus or especially Black Flag, where the guys own the label, it's...
You got to think Black Flag at least is going to come back. And I don't think Minutemen would too, but I've been patient for a year now.
Time to time too.
I'd
be patient.
There was a $25 double nickels on the dime reissue that sat up there forever, and I did the same thing as I did with this one. Bought all the used records instead, and then it disappeared. And then I was like, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. Let me look online. It's not online. Can't order from SST. Can't buy it on Discogs for less than $50-$60. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it's been about a year now. So I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I got a little gun shy, and so now when this one, I was like, you know what? I'm happy with $20 on this anyway. What's the difference in spending $20 now and $20 later in the grand scheme of things? Especially when you're a fucking baller. You know what I'm saying? I got the money, baby. Brad said a shot to the Minutemen. Let's drink all of Jay's liquor. That's all of Jay's liquor.
He only gets one shot.
Sorry, Jay. Always buy the boner record. All right, your turn, dude.
All right, man.
Good night, Eric Winebender. Appreciate you, bro.
This was actually a fucking record store day one from last year. So
Look at you.
this one though, this Jesus People music
The fuck?
is a compilation. You know about the Jesus People movement, right? Like in the hippie thing.
It's like hippie
The
folk
Jesus
stuff.
music. Yeah, exactly. Now, most of these guys are kind of on the rockin' end of that spectrum. You know what I mean? This isn't like necessarily the super wimpy shit. But yeah, this is basically a compilation of Jesus music. And you know something? Just for Eric Winebender, I'll tear the shrink off.
Yeah.
He probably took off already, but when he sees it later, he'll know we were thinking about him. I got to keep that hype sticker.
I was gonna
Hopefully
say,
there's
what-
less-
Hey, so what do you do when you rip your shrink off with a hype sticker? What do you do with a hype sticker?
You know what I've started doing? I tape it to the inner. If the inner is just
Okay.
like a plain one like this, I tape it to the inner. I didn't used to do that, but I always keep them. I just throw them in there. Like on the newer ones, though, they're less likely to fall out that way. You know.
I've actually
Right.
got a few that I've stuck on the desk up here, but like now I've realized like, oh, maybe keep it with the with the record.
You know, you care. If you don't care, you know, I'm not going to think any less of you. But I always keep hype stickers. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I really like that Jesus music. You know, that early shit. I've kind of talked about it occasionally on my channel, but I almost think people think it's a joke. You know.
Yeah,
But like, I just have a soft spot for the shit, man.
I always think when I talk about like or what maybe people nowadays probably really understand that when I'm talking about corny shit and I really like it, like I'm not joking. And but somebody like you probably have to really hammer it in. It's like, no, this is not a gag, because they're, you know, like for me, half of what I listen to is a fucking gag. But it's because, I mean, I have a substance abuse problem. You know, where's everybody's empathy?
Did I tell you about the guy from the other record store when I was working at the record store in Cleveland?
No.
Yeah, some people are going to recognize this story probably. All right, I don't have any tape handy, so I'm just throwing it in here. So when I worked, when I was in high school, like a senior in high school, well, actually, no, most of the time I was in high school. Sort of the cool record store in Lakewood, Ohio was Chris's Warped Records. The Record Exchange, which was also cool, but not as cool as Chris's, opened up a store in Lakewood. And I got a job there, okay? Now, let's see, Chris from the Chris's Warped Records was Chris from the Spud Monsters. The dude from like Death of Samantha and a couple other like Cleveland bands that maybe somebody gives a shit about would occasionally come into our store and he'd like poke around. And you know, this is the guy from like the cool record store, right? So like, I remember we got a copy. This is the first time I ever heard of Almond Duel. There was a US pressing of one that came in and I took it home. I didn't really like it all that much. And then he came in and bought it. And I was like, oh, fuck, that must have been something really cool if he came to our store and bought it, you know? Anyway, this guy would always have like the coolest shit, like the Almond Duel or something like that. And then he'd have like a Beach Boys record or some other bullshit like that, where I was like, oh, that's just some corny ass shit that I would have completely dismissed out of hand. And he'd bring it up about it and I'd be like, fuck, what did I miss about that record now? You know what I mean? That's like this cool fucking thing. And I didn't know about it. You know, what the fuck, you know, like I expected it to be like, I don't know, the Crazy Horses by the Osmonds or something, right? Like everybody's. So now I kind of like doing that too. When I go to the record store, like if I walk up there and I have like, you know, something that's like only even a little more obscure. But then I also have like a fucking Pat Travers record. I like to think that I'm sending them to like on the same like Fool's Errand, and I'm actually just fucking with them.
What a terrible name, Pat Travers. That's awful.
I really like Pat Travers actually.
I do too, but that name is awful. That's who's the other guy? God, Mr. Bizarre really likes, and he's a
Tommy Bullet.
He's a
no. Frank Marino is the one.
Frank Marino, the badass, and I love the music. But like when I hear this, I think of the dude. I don't think his name is Frank Marino, the guy from Casino. It's like a Scorsese character. Hey, take it easy. What if I want to go over there? Wait a minute. Let me get one of Steve's toothpicks.
Frank Marino's head in the vice.
What if I want to go across the street and get one of those sandwiches? Oh, fuck, I dropped it. What if I want to go across the street and get one of those sandwiches I like? Frank Marino, number 1. I don't know. That's what I always think of. But then I hear the records and I'm like, oh, this is banging. All right, sweet. Hey, did you see this comment from James Ferraro? What's up, James?
Well, shit. Oh, it said YouTube, so it went right by me. That's awesome. All right, yeah, here, and scored 5X Human Target. I don't even know this record. Sniper, Quick and Dead, and Tora Tora, American Made. Tora Tora, I remember, but I don't think I know those other ones. Oh, right on, man. I'll have to investigate.
Boom. We'll keep it moving. Played a little Black Uru. I mixed in some of these summertime vibes. You know, we did these early summertime shows. The Memorial Day, we used to do played all like summer stuff all night. Beach Boys, Jimmy Buffett, you know, fucking Ventures, and like just Jan and Dean, and just kind of vibing out on like that whole summer vibe. And that was cool. We've done that before. I'm not doing that again, but I did kind of mix in some stuff. A little Black Uru, Tear It Up, a little live record. What's this, like 83 or 84? I can't remember where this is from. But love this shit. We don't play enough. I don't have enough like good reggae on the show.
Just fine reggae, you know.
Yeah, and I remember early on you were turning me on to some places to buy some good reggae from. That I should have jumped onto. And reggae is one of those I kind of go in and out of. It's not something I can just listen to all the time, but like, man, you got the fucking grill going out back, and you got some people hanging out, and everybody's like, you know, chilling and shit. Like, you gotta have some good reggae records, man. All right, bust one out. I'm picking up the speed.
Yeah, you know, so I'm gonna jump ahead to some of the other ones that we were talking about. So I pulled out some of the some more like stonery ones, and I tried to, especially because this is kind of newer to me. But like the way I buy a lot of records, a lot of the time is like, especially with something like this. Okay, so there's nothing I love more than getting a pack of records and opening it up, and first of all, and like checking this shit out for the first time. And if I don't even remember what was in there, that's like even better. So like when I go and like, you know, let's say get into Stoner Doom shit. So I want to discover actually this band that I wanted to give a special little shout out to because I love them so fucking much. And that's Earth.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I love Earth. I've got 5 or 6 Earth records.
Dude, yeah, you turned me on to Earth, man. We listened to Bees Made Honey when I was up there, the Samson one. I remember because I noticed it because of the skull, because I knew it was the story, right? And it's a little deep in the religion for a record cover. You know what I mean? You usually don't get into like Samson's riddle and shit. So anyway, I deliberately pulled this one because I think this cover is shitty. I really think this cover sucks. This font is cool, but that's the only thing about it. But in spite of that, man, I fucking love this record.
That's one of the newer ones, like last couple of years, right?
It's like a year or two ago. So this isn't like some old, like, this is fucking what they're doing now. And I think it's great, man.
Yeah. When they did, I mean, Earth, if you guys that don't know, went from like instrumental drone metal to like at one point, like almost country sounding. I don't know what you call it.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I mean, it's got these twangy country vibes, and I always call like the Bees Made Honey in the Lion Skull is like what you would listen to if you're driving at night on a desert highway and like a 66 Chevelle, and you got your girl beside you, and you got the fucking radio on, and you're just maybe you're on some uppers or something. I don't know. But you just kind of on the road. It's like bang, bang, bang. It's like slow, but you're moving fast. The music is slow, but you're moving fast. That's what I call the like newer Earth. And actually, I got I think it was Hex and the Infernal Printing or whatever it is. I bought that sealed from Underdog. He had it for like $30, like an original 2007 or whatever. He said it was out of his own collection, sealed. And that's, you don't even find that used or any. I bought it, lickety split.
As you do.
What's that?
Yeah. Well, while you're looking for it, the what I was getting at is I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get something by Earth, right? But if it's like some shop or some dealer, I'll look and say, well, what else do they have that's sort of in the same genre that's under $10 that might look cool, you know? Maybe 12 to 15 bucks if it looks really cool, you know? And so I'll like get one or two that I was like, okay, this is what I'm here for, but then let's fill up the package with a few other things that I don't know anything about. So when I get it, it's a surprise.
I bought Hibernaculum sealed. This one here, that's the one I bought sealed. But I do also have. Oh wait, this is another one you need is Eagle Twin. Did you buy Eagle Twin? Anyway,
yeah, catch up with the delay. I don't remember what the cover looks like. I have to see it. No, I don't have that one either. Oh, Eagle Twin. I thought you said Evil Twin. Yeah, no, I got I thought the cover was a little bit different, but yeah, it's like a yeah, see, I don't know this shit, man. You're like the fucking king. I can barely talk about it. I like Eagle Twin a lot. That's
the other Earth one. Hex and the Infernal Printing Method. I think that's what it's called. Hex for printing in the Infernal Method. And yeah, I think I may have bought that up at in Asheville at the big shop in Asheville, Harvest. But yeah. Steve says the only liquor here at Mom's house is a bottle of Bacardi she bought in '86 for Dad's retirement party. Yeah, you know why, Steve? Because you brought that big fucking toolbox full of airplane bottles back here that we drank that were all from like the 80s. Dude, me and cameraman drank some mezcal that had like sediment in it, but we're such fucking fucks that were like, oh, whatever, it's liquor, and just drank it. And it was, oh my God.
It's probably like disintegrated worm.
Yeah, it was disintegrated worm. And it was the worst liquor I've ever had in my life. But it's from the 80s, so I'm nostalgic about it already. My man, the Wizard of Video Games, The Wiz. You guys don't know The Wiz. Actually, if you're over on Twitch, go drop the Wizard of Video Games a follow. Streamer over there. Cashed in 1,000 banana bucks to play the soundtrack for the movie we watched over on Twitch this past Wednesday. We did a little midweek buffoonery and watched Electric Dreams, one of me and my mom's favorite movies growing up that a lot of people don't know. And I actually bought my mom an out-of-print VHS several years ago for Christmas. And I do own thanks to Steve Fever, Steve sent me a text. For those of you that don't know, Steve does not fucking sleep. He went to a record store at like, it had to be 10, 11 in the morning on Saturday. And there's times where record night goes into the wee hours of the morning. And Steve's still here. And he sent me a text. He was like, hey, don't you like this movie? Do you have this record? And I remember like looking over at my phone like, oh, fuck, Steve, fuck. And I'm like, oh shit, no, I don't have that. Would you? And he was like, it's like $4. You want it? Or the $3. It's like, you want it? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's a soundtrack. But the Wizard of Video Games cashed in his banana bucks and wanted to play the soundtrack for the movie that we watched on Wednesday. soundtrack for a lot of people is probably better than the movie. It's a fantastic movie, man. It's everything about 80. If you like 80s computers and love stories and just feeling good about your life, baby, it's right where you want to be. That's all I can tell you. It's free on YouTube. You can go find it on YouTube if you want to see it.
Hey, do you have another one to show? Because I could stand to get just a minute.
I got two left from what we played.
Yeah. Jesus, is this still what we played? I sort of segued a little bit.
I know.
I'm answering Steve in the fucking chat.
Yeah.
I know you know. Hey, listen, just show something so I can fucking pee and start thinking about something.
Somebody else has got to get up and pee. Well, holy shit.
Oh yeah, guess what? You're gonna tell a fucking story while I'm doing it.
Oh, I got stories, baby. Speaking of cashing in banana bucks, our good buddy Zep Pearl, seat of the pants Vance, cashed in 1,000 banana bucks to play a little blue cheer, which I'm always in favor of. Vinegaribus eruptum, little blue cheer, which I sat on and tried to find for the longest time. Finally got a good copy of a semi-OG. What it says, 1968 on Phillips original pressing. This says, wow, I didn't realize this was an OG. Original pressing, conservative VG grading, plays very well, only minor surface noise, no hard scratches. You hear no scratches on this. It sounds good. Sounds good, man. Hey, what's up, DJ Thunder? My man, I was talking about you earlier, man. You know we're watching Dave, I want you to join us on Sunday if you ain't got shit going on for our annual viewing of Summer Rental. Because I tried to watch this last year and the disc is all messed up. And so our good buddy John gave us a digital copy and we're going to watch it on stream on Sunday night. So join us on Twitch. We're going to watch it live Sunday night. I don't know, like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I don't know. We'll be on there. But DJ Thunder is the dude that actually made me. There's not. I couldn't find the cover. I was looking all afternoon. I don't remember what the fuck happened to it. I got it loaded in, but made me a soundtrack for this movie because it doesn't really exist. So came up with clips from the movie and songs from the movie and shit. And I wanted to show the actual I've got the disc is over here, but I don't have the actual thing. I can't find it. Anyway, join us, Dave, if you will, man. I'd love to have you in on this shit on Sunday, man. I got two more, MT. Well, I can do mine quick. Boom.
I don't care, man. I'm just fucking around.
Sword. You know shit about these guys? Metalized?
Yeah, you know something? Some people love that record. I want to say, well, actually, Martin Popoff really likes that record. I want to say Steve, Harmless Rebel, really likes that one too. I'm not sure, but there are a few people with really good taste who love that record. Well, I should leave Popoff out of that with the good taste. But I feel like that's a record that, I like it, I have it, but I feel like someday I'll discover it, Yeah,
1986 on the Aquarius label. And I just kind of bought it on a whim because local store got a huge 80s metal collection in. And
well, that's a Canadian band, and Aquarius is the label it came out on originally in Canada. So you got a cool pressing. I think mine's a U.S. license of it or something like that.
There's the label.
If you're going to find a hip one, you got it right there in your hand.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. I dig this. I dig this a lot. And then the last one I'll just bust this real quick. Carl cashed in. Carl the Envelope. Who? I'll bust the cherry right now. Carl the Envelope will be joining us next weekend live on the show. Hell and High Water. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. Carl the Envelope will be here with us next Friday night live on the show. Cashed in 1,000 banana bucks to play What's Carl think? I don't know, other than Carl wanted to hear Phil Collins. I busted up some Hello, I Must Be Going, which I remember early on, like, this is one in the package, the very first package I ever received from a VC member. It's from Sean0612, early VC, DJ Sean NJ, or now he's known as the Beat Stylist. Sent me a package with some records, and I just thought, like, oh, maybe you just know that I love cornball shit, and like put that record on. I'm like, man, I actually really like this record. Give a shit. I kind of really like this record. Anyway, what you got left for what we played, man?
You're all like, yeah, I don't know. What's Carl thinking? I don't know what the fuck Carl was thinking. He wanted to hear this fucking Phil Collins record.
All the records Carl wanted to hear. That was the one thing that came out of his mouth. I don't know. I mean, I got a lot of records, Carl. I mean, I love that Phil Collins, but I got a lot of records. Carl fucks. Brad, quote of the night. Carl fucks. Quote of the night. That's the... I can't type. Quote of the night. Boom. All right, what you got left?
All right, so what I got left is like some of the stoner ones I was going to try and stump you with.
You want to do it for Dig of the Week, or you want to do it for now?
We can do it for Dig of the Week. Fuck, dude, I forgot about the segments at this point.
No, you're good. Well, that's what we played. That's fine. That's what we're just vibing.
Dig of the Week, then. We're
just vibing. That's what we played, and now it's time to let's get into some marbles.
That's right. Did you put the graphic up before for what we played?
I just did for the end. I don't know if I did for the beginning, but that's okay.
With the delay, I'm not sure. Oh shit, man! I have to get rid of fucking marbles. No, I feel like I'm cheating, man. That's like fucking employees can't participate in their families.
I'm going to select my platform. You guys are seeing behind the curtain here. Boom. Race. Okay. Exclamation point and the number of the track. If you see a track that don't play yet, exclamation point, vote, and then the number of the track. If you see something that trips your fancy. And in between, I'll dance.
People not say bang for an exclamation mark anymore?
Say bang?
Yeah, when I was learning to code, right? Not like I'm not some master software developer, right? But I did learn how to like write software, and you call it a bang.
Oh, okay.
So you exclamation mark play, you say bang play.
What's your languages?
Most of what I actually ever did professionally was proprietary languages. So it's funny because I've actually kind of done a lot of coding, but none that I can really put on a resume without having to explain.
Dude, they taught, me and the cameraman, we were in the academically gifted program when we were in elementary school. Mm-hmm. And they taught us Visual Basic when we were in like 5th grade.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
Like, 10 print, 20 go to 10, that kind of shit. We were, or that's just basic. That's not Visual Basic, is it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It sounds like basic, but I mean, Visual Basic is mostly basic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. But then I learned some
work.
I learned some Python and some Perl on my own. But I mean, me and cameraman would on my Commodore, we were writing these long programs in BASIC just to get these little like things to happen on our screen. And the kids in our class thought we were goddamn wizards because they just knew how to play Oregon Trail. You know what I mean? And we were like making computers happen. They thought we were goddamn wizards. Which, honestly, we are. Let's be honest. All right, let's see what we got. Who voted for what? I see 2 for Haunted Hills. I see 2 for Devil's Chaos. I'm going Devil's Chaos. It's because Metal Theologian's on here and Devil and, you know, boom.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty much always down with the devil.
Hell yeah. So once we load in here, exclamation point play, folks. Exclamation point play.
Or bang play.
Bang play. Hey, look, Aaron Griffin, the Top Shot, owns the Grown Man Record Night track record at 3:15. This is a longer track, so let's see if some of you folks can beat the Top Shot's record. Woo! I love it. I just wanted to hit the button. Nobody subscribed, but I just wanted to hit the button.
Hey, a drink.
Baby, baby. I'm feeling good tonight. I got some very autobiographical things to say for Dig of the Week.
Awesome.
Now, it's some good stories I'm really excited to share. Yeah, how did somebody do 117? Jesus Christ. That's aimbot city right there. There's only 11 people playing this game. I'll cut the stream off right now. I'm cutting it off. Show's over. I'm cutting it off. And stop streaming. Hit that button. Boom. Come on. Jump in here. Of course, I guess it is after 2 a.m. Not everybody's made for the night. Apparently nobody's made for the night. Let's go. I ain't waiting on nobody else. Boom. Let's go.
I want to see Satan.
Yeah, I kind of remember this track. Whoa, 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 whoa. A little Plinko action. Oh, Aaron Griffin jumping out to an early lead again. Who owns the track record? Oh, look at this. Look at this job. Oh, look at Twatkins. A newcomer to the show, folks.
You know what's funny? Is I'm like getting up close to the screen and shit and feel like I can barely see. That's because I usually watch the shit on my TV.
Yeah.
Here tonight, and I'm like, what the fuck? I can't see anything. Why is it so dark?
Boom. Oh, look, Twatkins has got a little Adam Hart mother. Profile pic. Come on, baby. Nev set up in this mug. Oh, off the board, Nev set. Man. Watkins making power moves to shower moves through the devil's colon here. Look, I would imagine this is the devil's colon. Whoa. Aaron Griffin, distant second. Boom! Nice jump. Oh, we're stalling out a little bit. Stalling out a little bit. Whoa, 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 whoa. There's Aaron Griffin. Well, Aaron Griffin's got two. Aaron Griffin. He's got 2 entries. This may be a DQ situation. Look at this. This just looks like Attack on Titan. Any Attack on Titan fans in the chat? I'm like 9 episodes in. Don't ruin it for me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Around the horn. Around the horn. Here comes one of the Aaron Griffins. Look at this. There's the other Aaron Griffin. Fucking cheater with 2 entries. Oh, MT, the special guest. I hope you win because you're the guest. That's how television works.
I was
Always pull for your guest. You never want to win yourself. You always want the guest to win. a long track. None of you guys are going to beat the 117. I'm going to be honest. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Looky here. Oh, look at this. Tight race to the end. Tight race to the end. Oh! Just like we wrote it in fucking Hollywood, baby. Just like we wrote it in fucking Hollywood. Who wins this son of a bitch?
Oh, shit, man.
Who wins this son of a bitch?
I'm not even there. I wanted to touch Steve's sack, man.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Look at this. Wait for the official results.
You know, that's my favorite thing about like marbles and everything having to do with this is Steve's sack.
Steve's sack? You want to reach in there?
That is just the funniest thing to me. I like sit here and laugh out loud every week as I'm typing in Steve's sack in the chat like a fucking idiot.
His sack's kind of empty right now. Actually, it's really empty. What the fuck is that? Oh, he's not giving that. The fuck? Okay. I have to, in all honesty, I just found this in Steve's sack. And I'm taking this. Holy shit. Steve, you done fucked up. Boom! There's your final results right there. But look at this. Look at this though. This was in Steve's sack.
I gotta wait for the fucking delay.
It's a Pokemon. I don't know what that is. It's in like a glass case. It's
like the award you won at the office, only Pokemon.
Yeah, and gold. This has got to be money.
That looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is not in Steve's sack. It's like I bet Brad knows what this is. They were from BK, Burger King, or British Knights. Yeah, well, I'm taking that. So congratulations.
Steve's sack.
Everybody else loses because I'm taking that. I'm trying to read. I can't read the text. It's a Pokemon evolution thing. That's got to be worth more than Steve's sack. Holy Lord! All right,
no, I think that's belongs with Steve's sack, dude.
I'm taking that. All right,
let's say you're not doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, no.
Belongs with Steve's sack.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is my goddamn show, and I like that. So there's one on eBay for $28. Yeah, like I said, that's what I'm saying. Fuck off, everybody else. 19 people watching. Of course they're watching it because look at this. Of course they're watching it. Look at this.
Hell yeah, man. What is there to watch but Steve's sack? That's what that whole section is to me, though. It's not marbles, it's Steve's sack.
Hell yeah. Well, let's get into some dig of the week. So what did you pull for dig of the week, Aaron?
So, like I mentioned earlier, like I like to blind buy shit. So there are a lot of things that I kind of stumbled upon when I was getting other like stoner doom records just to check them out. And I've kind of just sort of happened into some that are, lesser known and that sort of thing. So I'm sort of, so since Bananas is sort of like the expert on this stuff, this is sort of like Stump the Expert with my doom records here. And again, this is really just like either shit that like really struck me based on the art or something like that, or else just shit where I was like, this is like $10. I'll throw that in there with the Orchid record. Let's check it out. What the hell?
So what's it been like kind of jumping in for like a traditional metal dude, jumping into the stoner doom world? What's it been like? Is it similar in terms of variants and countries and all that stuff, or is it a different vibe?
You know something? I'm not even at that point yet, to say the truth. Like, I have some awareness of, like, you know, there are a lot of Swedish bands and shit like that, but I don't really feel like I'm going to begin to have that conversation.
So what, for a stoner doom band, what draws you in now? Is it label? Is it orchestration? Is it cover art? What is it that draws you?
It's generally the art.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like I really do research. So this is one I bought because of the cover. Let's take it out of the thing. Have you ever heard of these guys? This is Palace of the King. And it's called Get Right With Your Maker.
I love it.
The first song on here, I Am the Storm, is worth the price of the record all by itself. It's funny because it's total 70s writing, and you listen to it and what you want to say is, oh yeah, they totally have the 70s thing down. But the thing is, it doesn't sound like it's from the 70s. It sounds fresh, you know what I mean? And it sounds new, even though it does everything like exactly right. And I just think it's fantastic. I think
that's awesome. No, that's a new one on me. And you know, you mentioned this on one of your videos, and it really struck a chord with me. Like, a lot of these stoner bands will do this like retro 70s thing, like Slow Season, which sounds a lot like Zeppelin and stuff like that.
I almost pulled one out. I love Slow Season.
They're great. They're fantastic. I was going to play one tonight, actually. But they you know, there's bands like that kind of walk that line. But for me, and it seems like for you too, there is a line, and you kind of jump over it, and you're being like derivative and corny and copying like, oh, Zeppelin or Sabbath or whatever.
Greta Van Fleet. Is that too harsh on them?
Well, no. Or, you know, there's that line. And to me, they kind of cross that line. You know, where you're, you know, if you're of the, you know, like, Jay brought that band over for the longest time. The Ohio band. What's their name? Fuck, now I'm forgetting them. They were going to be on the show. They've agreed to be on the show, and we've never set it up.
Artemis Pyle?
No, that's coming. Shit, what's the name of that band?
The band you called with the really good name, something like Bubonic Grave or something.
No, that's
like
Casket Huffer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
It's the band that's got these 72 Tops baseball card. Shit, I can't remember. Mount Carmel. They're like they're a blues stoner outfit from Ohio, and they're very. It sounds like ZZ Top, sort of, maybe with a little like thicker fuzz tone. So it's got that like modern stoner vibe to it, but very much ZZ Top blues vibe to it. I love that, but you take that one step further, where you hear that and you'd be like, oh man, that could be from the 70s. Cool. That is cool. One step further, Greta Van Fleet, and you're like, you sound like fucking Led Zeppelin. Stop it.
Yourself.
Yeah, there's a jumping off point, and I think for that genre, that is the jumping off point, because the corniness of sounding like another band or an iconic band is, that to me is a no. But there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that because, and it's not really their fault. It's because, you know, they love these 70s bands so much, and we all do. That's why. But it's some of them blur those lines. But I just wondered.
The boomers that own the labels.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they're a great band. You know, I was a huge Deftones fan in the 90s. Huge. Still a big Deftones fan. But there was a band that came out called Relative Ash. Same producer, Terry Date, who actually produced a lot of the Pantera stuff and the OTEP stuff. That signature overmodulated scream sound that Pantera had. OTEP, Deftones had it, same producer. Relative Ash was the same way, and they sounded just like the Deftones. It just so happened, I really fucking love the Deftones, so guess what? I love that record too. You know, am I going to give them the Innovators of the Year award? No, but is it a good record? Yes. It's a different little thing. Anyway, please continue.
All right, so you didn't have anything for this segment, right?
I mean, I've got some stuff, and mine are all of a theme.
Okay. Yeah. So the stuff that I have for you, I kind of tend to lean psychedelic with my tastes.
Okay.
So, yeah, you might know. You probably know UFO Mammoth, right? If that's how you say the name or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like this stuff I really like, and this is one of the ones where I was just like, yeah, UFO Mammoth, they seem kind of interesting, and it's called Lucifer Songs. So if there's going to be one that I like, it's probably going to be that one.
And it's very, their tone is very heavy.
Yeah.
And almost, I don't want to say electronic, but like, there's some sort of
vibes out that way, though. I don't know that it's electronic at all, but it definitely has a feel to it that's like
right. Like I never
like industrial-ish, but not industrial.
That's a better way to describe it. Yeah. I've streamed those guys for a long time, and it's not one I've necessarily sought out, but yeah, titans of the genre for sure.
Yeah, I just kind of came across it. Then I found one in my local shop actually too, and I grabbed that one. It's not up to like 3. It seems like they have a lot of records, but they're all good and they're all different, you know.
I've never seen that locally. Never, not even close.
Yeah, this one was on the list. That was the first one I got. The one that I saw locally was on a bigger label than this.
Hell yeah.
All right, so how about these guys, man? These are even a little more psychedelic. And I bought this record solely because of the name. No shit. But I could not pass on a band called Gas Giant.
Oh, yeah, Gas Giant. That shit's good.
Do you know these guys?
Yeah, I do.
These guys are right on, man. From Denmark. Awesome.
Yeah.
You don't disappoint, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, it's funny. I'm almost glad I didn't see this cover because this almost looks a little bit too, I don't know. You know something? It reminds you what the techno CDs looked like in the early 90s. Doesn't it? Like the
Messiah?
Design.
Yeah, it looks like Messiah.
So, yeah, that kind of, but dude, they're called Gas Giants. That just beats everything.
What's the card CDs, the digipacks? It looks like a Messiah digipack from the early 90s. If you guys in the techno world would know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, so anyway, fucking Gas Giant, yeah. So, you want to show something now? Or,
I'll let you blast through yours because all of mine are like, they're like in sequence of a story kind of thing. So.
Okay. So let me do these two together. I'm kind of like going up here, I think, as far as obscurity, but I wanted to give a little shout out to fucking Fuzzorama Records, who mostly only have CDs, I think, but I kind of discovered them because Chris Rankin, who is has his own channel that everyone should subscribe to, his Music Crush. Yeah, he told me about this record. Do you know this Eldon band?
Eldon? I don't know Eldon.
Yeah, shit, hang on, I'm dropping shit now. The record's called Nostromo. And like Eldon is kind of a stupid name if I don't know what the hell it means, because my command of the language is pretty okay, right? But it's called Nostromo and it looks like this. So I was like, dude. Yeah, so this is awesome. Like I went and looked it up and its fucking label is in like West Virginia. And like
really?
when you buy from them, yeah, like the fucking handwritten, like up in the return address, it just says Fuzz. And like the address. I love it.
That's awesome.
So they did this one, and then that's probably more doomy. This one is more psychedelic, but this is Asteroid.
Oh.
And just look at this, dude.
Wow.
Like you put that cover on a thing, Oh, and I love this too, by the way. It's like printed on the cover that it says MP3 download included, but there was no little thing in there, and it was sealed.
So what turns you onto this? Like what?
Well, that guy turned me on to the Eldon one, right? So I sort of went looking for it, and it actually didn't strike me as much as some of the other ones because I'd never heard of them before. I'd heard of like Elder and I don't know, some of the other kind of big ones they threw out there, Witch and shit like that, Witchcraft. This one I'd never heard of, so I went looking for them, and I found the label just looking for it. For some reason, I think they're like Norwegian or something like that, or Swedish, but it seemed like all the copies were from overseas, except these ones directly from the label in West Virginia. So that seemed weird to me then too, and just like shit like that, like anything, this sort of thing will intrigue me, so it kind of became a puzzle. So Asteroid was like the other band that seemed, you know, major on the label where the covers appealed to me. It had records.
Because I would have,
I checked them out, and I love them.
like based on the title and just the cover, like I would have been all over that. But I don't know how I would have come across that. I guess because I'm always looking.
Like, and this is such great design because it's really simple and really stark. And it's kind of a cool design, but like the logo isn't quite straight, if you can see that, and like the letters aren't perfect, and then they kind of fucked up by printing that on the cover. So like those little flaws in it, those are the sorts of things that make it really special. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So this is a cool design, but like the humanness of it, I'm just like sold. You know?
So speaking of the humanness of it, let's get into like being a traditional heavy metal collector. What drives you to, because I've known you over the years to have a really dope jazz collection, moved into other areas of collecting, recently into stoner doom. How do you go from this bouncing from genres? Because I kind of do the same thing. What kind of motivates you to do this?
Okay, I with motivation, I don't even know how to begin to. But
it really may be intangible, obviously. But I mean, to me.
Well, let me answer it like this, because I don't think I can answer that question. But one thing I have found is that like metal is kind of like my meat and potatoes. Like it's sort of the centerpiece, and I've found that I'll go from one kick to another through metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like invariably the case, but like it's not very common. I'll go like right from jazz to reggae. It's like when I'm kind of getting tired of jazz, I'll listen to metal for a while and sort of recharge, and then I'll go listen to some reggae, and then I'll go back to metal for a while. You know? And I mean specifically like, you know, the 80s metal. Like I hate to admit the shit that I grew up with, but that sort of thing, plus all the extended shit that I found. You know?
Yeah.
So you know, it's in a way it's the cliche about the shit that you listen to when you were a teenager is always your favorite shit, you know? And I like hate to like surrender to that in a way, but it's just the reality of it, because you know, something like these bands you could legitimately call metal, but I don't have them filed in my metal. I have them filed in my, you know, my alternative section, like Sons of Arca and shit, because that's where I'm going to find it when I'm in the mood for it, you know?
But do you find like going from, okay, Slayer and Metallica and Anthrax, okay, you got all that, fuck it, and you move on to like, okay, now I'm collecting the metal and the thrash, the speed, the whatever from Argentina and Russia and whatever. You find that you get bored of that, and that boredom drives you to collect things in a different genre or seek things out? Is it a boredom thing that drives you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like to think of it as boredom, you know, but there are times I don't feel like listening to that stuff. So I don't know. Does that count as boredom?
I've always, dude, I've said this, you know, I used to fish in professional bass fishing tournaments, and I had a lot of the people that I met through that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well now I'm doing this record show, you know, and I was like, well, you don't fish in bass tournaments anymore. You lost interest in that. I was like, I don't lose interest. I shift focus. And it's not to say that I will never fish in bass tournaments again, or I'll never play in a band again, or I'll never do whatever again. I don't lose interest in those things. I just shift focus. And I find like within record collecting, I do the exact same thing. I don't lose interest in prog records or psych records or jazz records. I just shift focus, and it kind of goes around in a circle. And for little periods of time, it's all about fucking thrash. I want 80s thrash records, and I don't give a fuck about nothing else. And then it just goes around in a circle. And I don't know why. I don't think it's boredom, because I kind of put that out there, but I don't think it's boredom. It's just a something to inspire the desire to.
It's like putting a little acid in the fat.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think if I collected one genre and that's all I did and I just kept going, I think I would get bored. And I think maybe knowing that, I think knowing that makes me want to explore other things. And I've always loved all kinds of music. So I think knowing that, I don't want to get so hyper focused into one thing for too long, because that's exactly what I do. It's hyper focus into one thing. But then, like, because if you go back and watch these shows forever, there's a period where me and Steve are both like prog music, like this, psych music, like now I'm into like 80s thrash and speed metal and like trying to figure that all out. But I've stoner doom stuff has been kind of a 10-year thing that I've kind of really been, but again, you point to like it all kind of goes around. Well, a lot of that goes around metal or just rock and roll in general. But
right,
for me, and for both of us too, jazz, all of that. It's a big fucking circle, man. Bill Dance. Brad just mentioned Bill Dance in the chat. Come on, man. The GOAT. But no, I always think that's such a unique thing, because when I see people that only collect one genre and that's literally all they do, I just don't understand it. Because when you wake up on Sunday morning and it's a little bit rainy outside and you got to take a drive downtown to pick up a newspaper, how the fuck do you not put on a jazz record for that journey? I don't understand it. Put on even a little Keith Jarrett, which I would never play on the show, but like cruising down the road on a rainy Sunday morning to pick up a newspaper and a cup of coffee, yeah, fuck you, Keith Jarrett all day long. But like, there's just times and places for all different kinds of music. A lot of collectors don't get that, don't understand that, are not open to that, and I don't know. I always wonder about that.
No, I'm right there with you. Maybe that's why we've always gotten along, Yeah. But it's funny. I almost joke about it sometimes because, for at least for a while, I was really sort of swinging back and forth between metal and jazz, and it was kind of, there was something to bore or annoy everybody. I was kind of proud of that in a way.
That's perfect.
But that's just sort of normal for me. I feel like, it's like, of course I want to check out new things,
If there were only two genres, that would probably be the two, metal and jazz. Honestly, like, it's just, if I had to split it in half, that would probably be the halves. If I had to. Anyway. I got some personal journey stuff. This was kind of inspired by, I don't know if you guys know Jeff Witcher in the VC. He does some, dude, he does some terrific videos, and god damn it, man, I hate to say that anybody else is funny. It pisses me off. But yeah, he's got some videos that are pretty damn funny. And he actually did a little thing about, it started a thread about things you listened to in high school, and like, but it was so obscure, like things that would get you beat up in high school, and then some other stuff that would, like, you know, you remember like party moments and stuff. But it got me to thinking about not just high school but summer, and I didn't want to do this straight up summertime show that we've always done, where we talk about the Beach Boys and Buffett and shit I've already mentioned, but things that were autobiographical in terms of summertime. And so I wanted to go through a few of those. The first tape I ever bought in my entire life, and I remember in the summertime playing baseball and just like fucking, man, like 5th, 6th grade, was Creedence. Creedence was probably my first, like, other than Chuck Berry, Creedence was my first, like, favorite band I discovered on my own, or in my mind on my own. Not this record necessarily. It was like a best of or whatever. But it is on this record. The one that really blew my mind is Creedence doing the Midnight Special. That literally blew my mind when I was in like 5th grade. And I remember listening to that tape over and over and over between like 5th and 6th grade.
That's awesome.
Creedence doing the Midnight Special. That was my first like favorite band. And I remember that. Nothing is better than that. Oh my God. I mean, that's a little early, but like, remember like when you're like 13 or 14 years old, you're too young to work. But you're old enough to appreciate I ain't got shit to do. Like, I watched Nick at Night for like, you know, Nick at Night and ESPN like 18 hours a day, and just like ate food and drank soda and watched TV and played baseball. It was beautiful. It was right before even your dad could be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you? Go get a goddamn job." It was before even your dad could say that, because you'd be like, I'm too young to get a job. You can't tell me that. You know, it was right in that sweet spot. That's what that reminds me of. Speaking of my dad, another just summertime memory, and we've talked about this on the show early on, man. I always call her Pat Nebitar, because that's what Beavis and Butthead called her. Pat Benatar. My dad really loved this album. And I remember like when I was a little kid, in the summertime, going bass fishing, back to fishing with my dad. And my dad loved this. He had a MTV compilation. It was a clear tape. We only had a few clear tapes growing up. That was one of them. And had that song on it. When that song would come on, my dad would put the hammer down a little bit more. Hell, that's for hell. Bum, 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 bum. Hell, that's for children. My dad started speeding his, with pulling the bass boat behind him. Got pulled over. I was in the car, or in the van. I remember my dad getting pulled over specifically because Pat Benatar was on, and that made my dad drive fast because he liked that song. It was just a beautiful moment, man. And I always remember that. I don't know if my dad gives two flying fucks. I guarantee you, my dad didn't give two flying fucks about Pat Benatar nowadays. But back in about 85, he sure enough goddamn did. And got a ticket because of it, going to High Rock Lake. And speaking of which, kind of coming up that same hierarchy of years, I was lucky enough. We weren't a super rich family or anything, but my dad worked hard and had a lot of toys to show for it. And but I would, after my grandparents died, I went to the boys club after school. And when I went to the boys club and learned how to shoot pool. And would shoot pool after school every day, a lot. And came home one day and I asked my mom, "Hey, where's Dad at?" And she said, "He's out in the building. Hey, there's a surprise out there. Go check it out." Bet. So I walk out there, and in the building, it's like an outbuilding of ours. I walk out there, my dad's out there with a couple of his buddies, drinking some liquor. And there's a fucking pool table and at my house. My dad had bought a pool table. I was in 5th or 6th grade. Like, no way. No way. And I walked out there and I was just like, oh, pool table. My dad's like kind of drinking. They're sitting over there. And I'll grab a stick and I'll start just pop, 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 like popping balls in left and right. My dad had no idea I knew how to shoot pool at all. And I've never heard my dad was ruckus, but he kind of calmed it around me most of the time. But I'm going around the table popping in balls left and right. And my dad looks at me and goes, look at this little motherfucker right here. I'll never forget it. He had no idea. But anyway, over the course of the next few years, having a pool table out in our outbuilding, we had a lot of, uncles over and family friends over, and we shot pool. And my dad was big, if you can believe this, my dad was big on showing out. So like shooting, he'd hit a shot, dance around the table with a stick, just like me, baby. But one of the records, he had a cassette that we played, was this very one, Beach Beat Classics. Oh my God. And this is like summertime record. It's almost unmistakable. It's 1980 on Riptide Records out of Columbia, South Carolina. Riptide Records. And The Showman is the one I play. I played side B because it's got The Showman, Willie T, which I know Carl's a big fan. But The Showman's got 39, 21, 46. You with your 39, 21, 46 shape. But we listen to this tape playing pool. God, man. For a couple of years. But a couple of summers, I remember especially. Maybe dad a little bit drunk. Some folks around the table and my dad loved to show out. And I was a little kid and I loved to show out. I mean, if you can believe it. But we hustled some people, won some money. Anyway, moving on a little bit forward. In the middle school, when we started realizing about girls and stuff, you know what I mean? And a couple of girls I really liked, and this is when I really started discovering modern music, because I was a big oldies fan. I love Chuck Berry. I love the old beach music. I love stuff like that. It really, really kind of just drove me. But hold up. But anyway, one of the first bands I really latched onto in that time was Guns N' Roses. And I remember, man, this is so specific. I started watching MTV like goddamn 12 hours a day. And I was absolutely obsessed, like when Appetite came out. And the girl that I really liked actually hung out at a house right next to mine. And she knew me from school and shit. But when I came down there, I had a bandana on my head with a backwards hat on top of it, just like Axl Rose, acting like just a straight up badass, because all summer I listened to nothing but Guns N' Roses. And I've got the cassette over there, but I don't own Appetite on vinyl. But what I do own is what Seat of the Pants Vance, Mr. Zepp Pearl sent us. It's the acoustic CBGBs, so I thought I'd show this. I've got the tape down there, which is a bootleg, actually, from the flea market. But Guns N' Roses just really made me... That's a summertime record for me, man. Appetite, just for the first time, like, getting the swagger of a badass, especially being around a chick. Having a bandana on and a backwards hat. Like, bitch, you don't know how tough I am. You don't know what kind of dude you're dealing with here. I'm rugged and raw. I'm like 6th grade. Yeah. And then when it really all changed after that, and one of the biggest like summer records is like in high school would have been like Nirvana Bleach, man. And this is when good old country southern good old boy Mikey Bananas went from like 0 to 8. Like, you know, I didn't drink or smoke or do anything crazy in high school. It wasn't until college that I kind of like went fucking ape shit. But like it was, 93, 94 is really when I became me. And it really started with this record. This record made me, become a different person. I wasn't the good old boy down the street. I started becoming this weirdo fucking rock and roll guy. And it was all based off of that record. Just some, a chunk of like kind of down the middle, but autobiographical summer memories for a dig of the week. It's a little different dig of the week, man. A little different than something we've done before, but that little Jeff Witcher thing, it was a funny thing talking about high school records, and that got me to thinking, because I was going to do summer records, and I was like, I don't want to do the same fucking summer records we always do, and but how about some autobiographical summer records, man? And that's leading us up to that summer rental party on Sunday night.
Hey, I've got 2 more I want to show you before we
do it.
Have this segment though, okay? Because I actually kind of saved the best 2 for last.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
All right. Do you know Wicked King Wicker?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, this is like some weird. There's a MySpace address. 490 copies made. It's hand numbered, but it's not like expensive. No one seemed to give a shit.
You're in their top 8 already.
Dark, man. Like it just has this weird dark vibe, and it isn't dark like it has a black metal thing going on, and not like that, but it just sort of has its own like weird feel. And this is all I know about him or by him or anything. But Wicked King Wicker just struck my fancy with that weird ass cover.
Based on the label, just the cover.
I don't know who this label is. It's probably them. Yeah, I don't even really see a label. There's a catalog number that looks like baloney because it's WKW1, So yeah, it's probably just their own private press. Which definitely doesn't hurt,
No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Stuff. Yeah, and then the other one, man, I kind of saved the best for last because this one really blew my fucking mind. Have you ever heard of Wizard Prison?
No.
Dude, it's kind of a stupid name too, so I don't really know. But like something about it just grabbed me, and this record is fucking fantastic. It's almost like a stoner band, but like with musique concrete sensibility about it. You know what I mean? It's like minimalistic, like almost noise aspect to it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that art. But it still falls into that broad category. And this record is just such a gem. And it's like a $10 record.
Really?
I don't think anybody knows about these guys. So fucking check out Wizard Prison, man.
So how did you happen upon these guys?
I was ordering a fucking, I don't know, name someone. A big band, I was ordering a fucking Orange Goblin record or an Electric Wizard record, and they had this thing for $8.
Really?
And like when I was in Discogs and I filtered by stoner or something like that, or psychedelic, maybe depending on what kind of mood I was in, it came up in this sort of sub listing. So I was like, something, what the hell? I'll roll the dice.
It's interesting because I found myself, as I'm starting to hyper focus on certain things, this question comes to mind. How often do you? What's your percentage versus like ordering online versus going to like local record stores nowadays?
Well, it is not what it was when I lived in California. It's, 80-20, 90-10 in favor of mail order.
Because I find myself now, like, I mean, I love to support my local shops and stuff, but I'm also getting to a place where the collection is larger, and I'm not just buying like, hey, look, it's a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young record that, I'm not doing that much anymore. So like, I feel like I want to still support my local shops, but at the same time, I also want what I want, and I'm not buying filler much nowadays. And so the internet side of that is becoming more desirable to me, and more convenient, and just honestly just more efficient.
I mean, a lot of it depends on what I'm buying too. Like when I was on that big hip hop hit kick a couple of years ago, oh dude, the fucking record store was a gold mine,
Yeah.
I have like 1,500 metal records sitting over there. If I'm looking for a metal record, the odds of me finding one that I need at my local shop are kind of slim under the best of circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I don't know if you know that, the shop we took you to, Hippo Records in Greensboro, they bought, the owner of Earshot in Winston-Salem died. And then Hippo bought that one and took that over again. And that's where I got all those like Danzig bootlegs and the Samhain bootlegs and the Meat Men. So they're already starting to take over there. So I'm lucky in that my local shop, between those two places especially, have a lot of metal stuff that a lot of just general local area shops don't have. But also, like, something gets stuck in my craw, and I just, especially having Amazon Prime, I mean, I can buy something and have it in a day and a half tops.
Actually, I almost never order records from Amazon. Almost never.
I never did until I realized, like, they have things that are even fairly obscure, like, to a point.
Yeah.
But, and I can make that decision on Wednesday, and the record's here by showtime on Friday. That's pretty crazy. And it's cheaper than my local store, with free shipping, and it's here in 2 days.
Yeah.
I've caught myself a few times. I'm like, dude, but your shop's got it for $2 more. Go support your fucking shit. And other times I've been like, dude, I've never seen this shit before. So you have to kind of like do this kind of thing, you know what I mean? But, yeah. All right. Hey, look, let's take a quick break. I got to, whoa. What's this? Hard Blues. Let's show that. I got to take a piss, and we'll watch some commercials, come back with a Soda Speak and Chip Chat here on a live version of Grown Man Record Night. Jesus Christ.
What's the difference between a little fun and a lot?
At last, move fast. Definitely Doritos dance floor. Back door, definitely Doritos. Doritos. Time flies, white lies, takes two, says who? Definitely. All right. Why not? Big shot Doritos.
So, nacho cheese Doritos brand tortilla chips. Definitely.
Aliens have taken over the Earth. Every moving vehicle is theirs, and so is the land. You and you alone have captured one of their flying saucers. Can you beat the aliens with their own machine? You can. If you're fast, if you're accurate, if you don't lose your nerve, you are the space jockey. The fate of the Earth is in your hands. Yours in this new cartridge
such
from
a
US
great game,
Games.
by the way,
Space
Space
jockey,
Jockey.
fly it if you can. Space jockey, beat it if you can. Space jockey, sweaty palms are
Come say hey to
guaranteed
Metal
with US Games.
Hi, I'm Mark Concannon, warming up with my little buddy Arlo Lassen for Celebrity Bowl 86 to benefit muscular dystrophy. Hey, Arlo, you want to play catch?
My fiance's a big fan. Ready, Mark!
Teams from WFMY, the Greensboro JCs, KISS FM, and the Burlington Fire Department will play. Any four-person team from a business, league, or general public can participate. Sign up today at Brunswick Friendly Lanes or call MBA and join us Saturday, August 2nd for Celebrity Bowl.
Yeah.
Lake Dolores, the magical water world that features the most exciting high-speed water slides. The family fun place that offers relaxation and incredible thrills just off the I-15 Las Vegas freeway near Barstow. Call now for special rates. Glide down the 200-foot
Playing
water
commercials.
slide, up to 50 miles an hour. Good, clean, safe fun. A thrill a second. Bring the kids. Picnic. Camp overnight. Fly the giant swings at Lake Dolores. The magical water world that guarantees
Oh, the Lake
fun-filled
Dolores
time.
commercial. I hadn't played this in a year.
What's the difference between a little fun and a lot?
At last, definitely don't
Both. It's yeah, I'll look for I can't find the reopen. Rejoin. Yeah, all right, we're back on. I think my mic was on that whole time. That's all right. All right, boom. Hey, we're back with man, we've been on this whoa. Special thanks to Metal Theologian for staying with us for this whole time. We've been vibing. What a long time. We're coming up on 3 hours. Woo! I love it. But for let's do a little soda speak. Now I picked this one up. I actually found a soda. Steve's been the soda and chip guy recently. Like he's got such a cachet. But I knew he was gone. We had a little something working here. I found this. I love the Boylan's, folks. You like the Boylan's sodas, Aaron? This is a Boylan's Shirley Temple with cane sugar. Now, what exactly is a Shirley Temple? I know it's what you buy like a kid when they're not drinking alcohol or whatever.
Dude, I think it's like ginger ale and grenadine or something like that.
That sounds right.
There might be one other ingredient. I mean, other than the maraschino cherry.
It does smell like ginger ale. Is that what it is, Elizabeth? Ginger ale and grenadine?
Yeah, I feel like there might be something else in there. So funny.
Oh no, that's ginger all day long. Oh, that's a great ginger. Oh man. Have we done Boylan's ginger ale? Do they have a straight up ginger ale?
Yeah, they definitely.
Because this kind of tastes, it tastes a little straight up ginger ale, maybe a little just on the other side of it. This is really good.
I remember thinking it just tasted like ginger ale.
Yeah, it tastes like.
And
it's spicy. It's not like crazy spicy, but it's good spicy.
It's a good tone. It's not how I imagined it before I had it. So.
Wow. Did you open one of these?
Yeah.
That is really good. All right, or what you got, dude? You got one too?
What I'm busting out is one of these. I'm a fucking sucker for these limited edition things, and the only thing to like about Sunkist, or the only thing not to like about Sunkist and Berry Lemonade, is that it's actually caffeine free.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah, because Sunkist is known as the only orange soda with any caffeine in it.
I've actually had so far, man. It's fucking fantastic. I was looking at something that was a little bit more sort of, natural and more like, so to speak, material, but this is what I wanted. So fucking cheers.
Have you had it before, or is this first time?
Yeah, I've had it before. And it like has that really pronounced, like sort of, fake raspberry, like blue raspberry flavor to it.
Right.
Like just a little sort of hit of the citrus underneath. So, if this were like a quality soda, it'd probably be like 2/3 as sweet as what this is. But I fucking love it. I don't care.
I love it. Hell yeah.
Here's my metric, man. Fucking Coca-Cola has 140 calories. This is 170. So this is big time business. This is some grown man business, right?
Hell yeah. This is how many this is only 100 calories.
Yeah, see, there you go. They're not really they're fucking around. They're not serious.
Yeah. It's that cane sugar.
Yeah, does cane mean diet?
I think cane is Latin for pussy. Where I come from, anyway. Anyway, hey Elizabeth, would you hand me the Doritos over there? Elizabeth, you're Hell Elizabeth, because that's metal. If I call you Hell Elizabeth, you don't want to be metal. Hell Elizabeth.
That's still my favorite graphic right there.
Oh, but you have to hurry. I'm gonna piss my pants. The Doritos right there, please. This is something I was gonna save this for Steve and Jay, but you know what? Fuck them. You don't want to show up? That's fine. Because these are popular and popping right now. And actually, Vance mentioned this was a appetizer for his pizza pie earlier. What's going on, Ron? The brand new flavor, Doritos Flamin' Hot Nacho. Is this taking the Doritos flavor one step too far? I don't know. I don't know. The Flamin' Hot stuff that's been coming up by Frito-Lay has been pretty good, but often overbearing at times. So I wonder, their take on the Dorito with the Flamin' Hot Nacho flavor, will it go too far? What's your thoughts on the Flamin' Hot flavors, Aaron? There's a Cheeto.
I just broke up for a second. Here's my thoughts on it, okay? Is when my brother was like little, I'm 7 years older than him, right? And I remember one time when he was little, he showed up and it was like Chester the Cheetah or something, and he was talking about these Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Like, yeah, these are Flamin' Hot. And I thought that was funny, so I still say that to this day. Like, everyone in my household, in fact, kind of expects it from me. So you've got the Flamin' Hot Doritos there. That's the extent of my thought on the subject.
And that's what they're trying to do. It's basically replicating that flavor. It's a Dorito with a lot of stuff on it.
It's good when they're generous with the shit they put on there, right?
I think that's, to a point, that's really all it is. It's not that it's that much more spicy. It's that it's that much more seasoning.
It's not that much more spicy. It's just that much more intimidating.
Yeah. That much more
it's
red.
Like marketing disguised as food.
So after grabbing a couple of these, all right, they're fucking hot. But it takes a few. It's a good hot. It's also a hot that would, like, during the week kind of thing. You take a handful of these with your sandwich, you're probably good. It's not a bag you're going to sit down and house, or you're going to have diarrhea. And believe me, I know more about diarrhea than you do. We can put your knowledge to the test, but I'm pretty sure I know more about diarrhea than you do. These will probably cause diarrhea in excess. In limited amount, you're probably fine. Ham sandwich, handful, probably okay. Get stoned, eat the whole bag, diarrhea. Guaranteed. but a good chip, a nice spicy chip. I'm definitely not. I'm not mad at that chip. Vance says your finger get red real quick. Telling me. It's like JV volleyball practice all over again. Jerry, shut the fuck up. Shut up, Jerry. Took you 45 minutes to get sat through, tuned in. Shut the fuck up. But yeah, I dig them. And this is a normal chip you can pick up at your local grocery. I bought these at a Food Lion here in the Southeast. You can pick them up at your Walmart, Publix, Harris Teeter. What do you guys have? IGA? Kroger's? What you got, Kroger's?
Andronicus, maybe?
I don't know Yankee grocery stores.
Safeway.
What's that?
Safeway, maybe?
Safeway? Okay.
Yeah, Albertsons. It's another Yankee one, I think.
What's the one in Pittsburgh? Eagle?
Giant Eagle?
Giant Eagle? Yeah. I remember going there. I tried to go there and buy a 38 cartons of cigarettes that was paid for by, true story, paid for by the RJ Reynolds Corporation. I was on a freelance gig, and we called ahead and ordered these cigarettes because we had to buy we took a multi-state freelance. It's a long story. Out of college, I did a big freelance thing with RJ Reynolds. Anyway, but, just like the old school rules, you can't take large amounts of cigarettes across state lines. That's considered bootlegging. So for every state we stopped in, they would send some young schmuck right out of college, me, to the local grocery store, and we would call ahead. When I would show up, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the guy." We called and ordered a bunch of cigarettes, and they were like, "Oh, that guy's here." Like, then the manager would come out and was like, "You're the guy you ordered 38 cartons of cigarettes?" Then it'd be like, "What's this for?" We were not allowed to say we're with RJ Reynolds or it had anything to do with any. They said you can make up anything you wanted to at all. So we would say we were filming a movie. And I would always say, "Oh, we're up here filming Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's new movie. It's Rounders 2, and we're filming it down the block, but don't tell nobody." And they were cool with that, but you couldn't tell them. We were like, "Oh, we're doing this direct mailer thing with RJ Reynolds, and that's why we're up here." You could not say RJ Reynolds. It was really weird. I was NDA'd out of my mind. But yeah. Couple of different cities I pulled into and went up to a grocery store and bought 37, 38 cartons of cigarettes at a time.
So what did you do with them when you were done with them?
What, smoked them? No, they smoked them. Everybody that was on the tour, we smoked them. Because we paid for these contestant winners to go on these excursions. And I was part of the crew that photographed and videotaped these excursions. All this behind the scenes. I'm living life to the fullest because I'm a goddamn Doral smoker. So you would get a piece of mail. You'd get this thing in the mail with this guy saying, "I love Dorals," hanging off a rope with a carabiner. And I took those pictures. Or like I was on that crew or whatever. Yeah. It was a Doral direct mail piece that I got paid to go do this.
Dude, I think there was something up with your fucking buying 38 cartons of Dorals too, man.
What's funny is I worked with this. We're late into the night. Nobody cares. Ingles, Big Star. Hey, my uncle was a big Star guy. Winn-Dixie. That was my first grocery store. Yep. Boss man's first job was Winn-Dixie. But I worked with some ad agency guys, and their job was to promote cigarettes to the fullest, to the nth degree. And these guys this is when I was in the 5Ls. I was 25. I was just out of college. Yeah, I graduated at 25. Fuck off. But, this is the heart of the 5Ls. I mean, we did a lot of shit, and we partied a lot. I mean, we did it all. We knew it all. We did it all. And I went on this thing in the middle of this. But these old men, they would drink me under the fucking table, man. That's when I realized there's a difference between like young partiers and depressed ass old middle-aged men. That's a different vibe of drinking. And depressed middle-aged men can drink young partiers under the fucking table in a heartbeat. and I'm living proof nowadays. But no. But back then it blew me away because we were nuts and we were known as the party band in the area, and where people were like, how the fuck are these guys still alive, kind of thing. But when I went and hung out with these old men, night and day. And but these guys would get drunk and come and like, do the like tough guy put your arm around you thing, like all, and I remember this old guy from the agency was like, do you think I'm a bad person because of what I do for a living? I'm like, I don't understand the question. He's like, I mean, because I've spent my whole life promoting cigarettes and make people smoke cigarettes. Do you think I'm a bad person? I'm like, bro, I'm a production assistant, dude. I'd like to go home now. Can we go to the hotel? Yeah, these guys were nuts. Well, that's been a pretty good show, right?
I thought it was a pretty good show, man.
I like it. I liked it. Hey, don't forget, I'm gonna find there's my hard blues graphic again. I'll look at that. I always have a hard time finding this graphic. Pisses me off.
Zach, we haven't seen that one.
But yeah, we're gonna go back over to Twitch, listen to a couple of records, but most importantly, folks, on Sunday night, it's when I always watch Summer Rental to kick off the summer. And this DVD's shit now, but our good buddy Not John 9 sent us a crispy ass digital copy of Summer Rental, and we're gonna watch it on stream with you guys, and we're gonna do it on Twitch. If I can ever find this Twitch graphic. Which one? There it is. I found it. Everybody calm down. So, twitch.tv/GrownManRecord Night. Go over there and drop us a follow so you know when we go live. And then, like, Sunday, man, we're going to come over there and we're going to watch the movie together. Have a couple beers. May throw some shit on the grill. Woo! Baby. But right now, we're going to go right over to Twitch and play a couple of these records from tonight. And then call it a day. A night. An evening. A millennia. Appreciate everybody. Hey, Aaron, thanks so much for hanging out with us, dude. It's been an absolute blast, man.
Right on, man. It's been a blast. Totally.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely, dude. And just now that we've kind of dialed this in, maybe we'll bring some other people in from time to time, or have you back in here. It's I think we've got it dialed in. It's tough to have people on the internet and in person because nobody can hear. Well, I have to, have to wear headphones so we can hear each other. But like, it's an opportunity to do some of this stuff in the future, and I think that'll be good for everybody. But thanks, everybody. Be sure to go over to Twitch and hang out with us for a few minutes tonight, and then definitely on Sunday. Go buy some Grown Man Record Night merch. You want a GMRN t-shirt? Boom, there's your link right there, baby. Jump up on it. Be the swinging dick at your family reunion. When that hot cousin pulls up, he's like, damn, son, where'd you get that shirt? I know these guys from the internet. Don't worry about it. All right. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time on Grown Man Record Night. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. And thank you to all of you that served.